just like hurting people. They like being mean. Any excuse will do. Andrew Wolnez is a predator. Now, how scary is it that he's a predator he claims he's got 6 kids. Claims that 2 of them are daughters. I hope none of them are disabled. What are his chances of taking advantage of them? It's pretty goddamn good. Who's the most likely person to molest you? A stranger or your dad? Who's the most likely person to rape you? A stranger or your dad? The answer, overwhelmingly, is your dad. And the younger you are, the more likely it is to be your dad. But also, the younger you are, the more likely it is that your mom is able to use you and manipulate you and scare you into doing what she wants. There's one girl I went to high school with. She doesn't even know her dad. She says, I never met my dad. I said, why not? What, he left you? She was razzing me, by the way. She said, no. He molested me, but I wasn't old enough to remember it. Oh, that sounds like an awful fucked up setup. That's not to say there aren't sick, disgusting perverts who believe that that's okay. Reiner Wesley, 88958. Sexual assault against a child. Reiner Wesley, 88958. Sexual assault against a child. The child was his 3-year-old brother who he fucked in front of a 9-year-old at a foster home. You'd have to meet Wesley to understand. Most people aren't going to look at a baby and think of breeding. Most people aren't going to look at a 9-year-old and think of breeding. Most people aren't going to look at a 15-year-old and think of breeding. Sorry, I do this with my hand, and I always, while I'm looking at it, I'm like, they can't see me shaking my hand or any of that. They just see me look in that direction for some odd reason. Like when I'm shaking my hand in the direction of Nebraska, they can't even see my hand. Why did I correct myself about, oh, wait, it's a little bit further over that way. Like, they can't even see my arm pointing. Now, this Wolnez character, what were his excuses for assaulting me? When it accused me of being a child molester, a pedophile. Yeah, when it accused me of being on drugs. When it accused me of murder. Murdering who, dumbass? Who? This guy thinks it's okay. People don't understand. I'm an at-risk adult. I literally cannot defend myself against this shit. And I don't have any friends or family who give a fuck that this is happening to me, so I have to just take it. Gary got a hold of me and said he was on his way to storage. I was about 6 minutes late. I was there for about 2 minutes. Turned out being 18 minutes or so, and I made mention. So we'll say I was 8 minutes late because I told him 10 minutes. It's a good thing I didn't run in and get coffee. He doesn't get messages at the house, so there's probably something that made it so that he had to turn around and didn't make it to storage. the story next time I see him, or he might type it at me the next time his phone works. I'm gonna go inside of the store here, and I'm gonna get myself $2 worth of macaroni and cheese. Someone calling themselves Ghost Fan typed hello. Hello, let me guess, you watched A&E and figured you'd hop on here and see what's up with Natalie Bollinger. She died in 2017 in December. This channel is no longer Natalie's story, it's mine. Matter of fact, it's really always my story. My story that's not heard by any of the people that are supposed to listen, are supposed to care. And then your excuses for ignoring the law or breaking the law is that it's not your fault nobody cares. Trolls care enough to get on here and harass me. It's more than my family cares. So I suppose I should be thankful and grateful for it, no? Oh, damn. Holy hell, that was fucking Matrix, wasn't it? My phone slid off my roof right into my fucking pocket. Anyway, I gotta use the bathroom. Oh, someone view message, let me guess. What the fuck? Why the hell did they hold that one for a view? Dang, TIE fighter? Yeah, I agree. I'm all for the rebellion. I'm all about the X-Wing, baby. Sorry, whenever somebody types LOL, I always imagine it's a 1980s video game and it's a TIE fighter coming at me. Yeah. I was watching an old videotape of one of the old Star Wars movies, and I realized that when they did the new updates on the Star Wars, they also updated the computer screen, because in the original one, it was basically an LOL. We'll show this one. Dang, LOL. See? And it didn't hurt nobody allowing me to see people, or letting me allow people to see that. Ghost again, type, oh, okay. So are you one of those folks who came here because of the A&E thing with Natalie? Just wondering. Anyway, with that wolnez feller, first of all, it's not okay for him to hurt me. It's not okay for him to threaten me. It's not okay for him to assault me. No matter what excuse he wants to make. Ghost fan type, nope, I'm just bored. Okay, well, since you're just bored, look up the name Natalie Bollinger. NATALIE BOLLINGER. Oh my God, they let your kind around here?
Yeah, and they never actually chase me away. They just look at me and not they should flip me off or.
Oh, I love doing it, just not here. Like, you know, I don't care what you think, but them, you know, they have the control over me being able to eat.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, are you going over to dinner tonight or?
Yeah, I just figured since I saw you here, I had to pretend I don't like you for 10 seconds, so you know I like you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Men show their respect for one another through mutual disrespect.
Wow. Does that really work? Or?
You'd be surprised how many guys I'm friends with just because I called him fuckhead every time I saw him.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it just seems like
one guy in Chapel, Nebraska kept on calling me shit brick, and I fucking hated it. I fucking hated it. I'm like, dude, just stop calling me shit brick. I started calling him, it was either fuckhead or fuck nugget, and after that he was fine. As long as I was abusive back, we got along.
Well, yeah. I got pretty thin skin though. I get easily offended. I don't know if you notice that about me.
You're full of shit. I listened to you take Nick's bullcrap for almost an hour and a half one day before I had to walk away, and I have a high tolerance for bullshit.
Yeah.
He's not the first person to tell me about the purple aliens, the pink aliens, and the friggin' green aliens. I bet you he could even tell you which color aliens are friends with humans.
No. He told me there was two factions, liberal and conservative. So it's like, you know, he like.
Did you say it's a fact, Sean?
It's a fact,
because that really sounds to me like some of that BS I was just referring to.
Oh, I like BS. It keeps it going. It makes it interesting.
Well, he actually believes the alien stuff, whereas you came over funning me about Sasquatch.
Oh God, that's because I heard it. That's because I was over there this morning. This guy was.
They're called hippies, and not all of their women shave. It's okay.
Right. And some of them actually stay out in the woods for extensive amounts of time and grunt before they piss on your tent.
Yes.
Well, this guy was saying that he heard this noise, and so yeah.
He was pretty sure it was Sasquatch throwing pine cones at his tent.
No, that was me. He was throwing pine cones at my tent. Oh, he said he got out. He thought he smelled a skunk. Then he looked, and then he felt a hand on his shoulder. And of course, when he looked around, it was Sasquatch.
Oh my God, Sasquatch stole his stash? That poor guy. Oh wait, we're not in Colorado. Pot's cheap here.
That's right. It was on some shit thing he was watching on YouTube. I didn't watch the video. I just listened. So.
Oh, they're from Virginia.
Then I proceeded to have a conversation with them about Sasquatch for a little while.
If they weren't women, I might procure their license plates because they say Virginia on them, and they got the "Don't Tread on Me" flag on them. Oh yeah, and I got a special dump I want to go drop at the Norfolk Naval Yard. Just saying.
Well, that was, remember, Nick had a hat that said "Don't tread on me."
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted his hat, but I didn't beat him up and take it like I should have. Just kidding.
Right. Anyway,
that dude's twice my size and I'm gimpy.
You might have been able to take it while he was sleeping.
I don't think even then. He wore that thing to bed. He slept on it like it was a pillow.
Well, he knew. He probably thought somebody was going to take it then. One of the aliens.
Coming out of the vampire aliens coming out of the ground. Sorry, they were vampire demon aliens that were coming out of the ground. That's what it was.
Right. But don't worry, he was protected by 10,000 angels.
Yes, I remember that story. I remember it well. You know what? I am surprised that they have not yet added the Book of Nick, but his life isn't over. I guess we'll have to wait a few decades before they put the Book of Nick in Joey Old Fake Bible.
He's arrogant enough to write his own book.
Oh my God! Even as big as he is, I'm still surprised he doesn't float off with that massive head of his. I mean, it just.
I was surprised the hat fit it. Yeah.
Right.
I was like, well, what size is that thing? Because his head is so big. Yeah.
On my YouTube channel, I have to like practice it to be that thick-headed. That might be what it is. It's full of hot air, but it's just thick enough. It's dense enough around the exterior.
Right. I did find him amusing, actually.
Mostly,
I just found him amusing.
I don't know. I think it was about the 3/4 of the, well, maybe the half a beer point where I was like, whew, no more of this for me.
Yeah, it did. When he did drink or whatever, it did kind of expand, his thinking, which, was kind of odd in the beginning. And anyway, but then
it's kind of like LSD will enhance your communication with pumpkins, though.
It does.
It does. Not just pumpkins. I've seen people on LSD talk to a friggin' tree.
Did you see those thousand purple angel aliens fly off with those pumpkins earlier? He did.
I'm certain. I did see one of them flying at my vehicle.
It wasn't because it wasn't kids that threw the pumpkins at your car. It was demons.
There must have been. You know, it was the demon, alien, vampires from underground coming to get me. Now, are they the liberal ones or are they the conservative ones?
It depends if they're.
What does this have to do with adult diapers? Are you calling me old?
Just depends.
Stop laughing at my jokes. You're only encouraging me.
Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do.
You're right.
I'm trying to encourage people to laugh more because they're not. Everybody's so serious.
Why?
And now all of a sudden,
serious.
There's real serious conversation about what's going on between Palestinians and Israelis, with all that stuff.
Neither side has asked me to be a suicide bomber, but I did think about volunteering. I just don't know which set of idiots I like more or dislike less.
I'm kind of partial to people that wander around mountains for 40 years, never get anywhere, but their clothes never.
Oh my God, those are your people.
They are my people. I like my people.
Yeah, and you know what? The United States government, once they get their hands on you, they are not going to let your people go.
Because when I was thinking about this.
Even if you trip with the 10 Commandments.
No, he tripped over the gun barrel.
The 5 Commandments.
That's now 5. And when he was adjusting his AK-47, he dropped the other set. So I was surprised Heston was able to hide that massive weapon under his tunic. But
yeah,
somebody said that was his penis.
You can take his puns over his cold dead hand.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I like those guys. I think this guy that I met who's like an evangelist from the Middle East, he came and was saying there's this huge underground church that's been building up over there for a while. So anybody who's willing to say, you know what, we're going to take our orthodox way of thinking and we're going to toss Jesus in the mix, see what happens. Now all of a sudden, look what happens.
Oh, I'm not going to blame Jesus for those bombings, but it's a possibility. People have been killing each other over the Jesus friggin' Christos for the entirety of my life, at least.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just verifiable by me. Now, there's people that are older than me that can verify that Christians been like that through all of their lifetime, too. So, I mean,
including several thousands of years before that.
Although I did make the mention this morning that if they're Christians, but they're not following in Jesus' footsteps, they're not actually Christians. And therefore, we're calling literally millions of people in America Christians who aren't really Christians. They're just manipulators. Call a used car salesman what a used car salesman is, a used car salesman. But then if you say used car salesman to refer to what most Christians are, then people think you're talking about actual used car salesmen. They don't realize you're talking about those people formerly known as Christians, in the words of Prince. I don't even know what symbol to use for them, because they use the fish and they use the cross, but I mean, really, one of them's a synonym for torture in the most brutal manner. By the way, Christians crucified more people than the Romans ever did.
Right.
And that's amazing considering how many
But
people...
they weren't really Christians, like you said, though. I mean, those guys, like most Christians in America, grew up.
We're Christian until it's time to do something Christian. And we're Christian until it comes time to actually reading the Bible. We'd rather just say the interpretations that we heard from some bigot.
Exactly. I like it. Yeah. I've been trying not to ruffle too many Christian feathers lately, but I am an outcast in their community because I actually believe I try to be kind like Jesus did.
Oh, I thought for a second there you were going to tell me you thought you were the Messiah.
No, I'd never say that.
All right, so here's how I figured out that I had some pretty messed up head damage from my back, right? I hadn't had any real social interaction with anyone for about 6 months. The only people who talked to me were druggies and schizophrenics, like here.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's what's...
The people in the
Welcome to
store said
Tillamook.
that they liked me and they cared about me and they didn't want me to be harmed. But whenever I was harmed and I came to them, they just, well, kind of like anywhere else. Well, if it doesn't happen in the store, I can't really do anything. Well, if you were a decent person and I was actually your friend, it wouldn't matter that it didn't happen in the store because you're treating it like it's a job. Being a good person isn't a job. If you see somebody raping a child, does that mean that, oh, well, I didn't see him raping a child while I was working at Starbucks, so obviously I don't have to do anything? No, that's a fucking completely mental way of thinking. And a lot of people who are Christians think exactly like that.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I call this.
I'm Christian when there's excuses that I can use to do nothing. But when the Bible says that I'm supposed to do something, I'm going to say, oh, but the law, and then I'm going to start fishing there. I got so many people who have told me, oh, Sean, I can't help you. I'm not a lawyer. I'm like, but you're a witness. And immediately they become pocketbook lawyers. Like they've been rehearsing this for years and reading the law books. And I'm like, but the laws that you're quoting to me aren't the laws. These are things that cops tell people that they don't want to do their jobs. I get it now. You're a dumbass who believes what you're told. You're one of those people who goes, well, you know what? According to Abraham Lincoln, you shouldn't believe everything you read on the internet. Right?
Yeah. I just was having that conversation with a guy today about that. Like,
Yeah, it
dude,
wasn't Abraham Lincoln. It was George Washington.
First off, he told me something that almost made sense, you know, in kind of a
Tweaker way.
kind of a midnight talk show host kind of a way. But then, you know, he was like, well, so I'm like, well, tell me where your source is. He's like, no, you just need to look it up for yourself. Why are you telling all these people this and you don't even have a source to use to give it to me? You know, like
assholes like me who record it and I can't get anybody to look at it. I have to beg people to look, and people are you're asking this guy to see it. Oh my God, you should ask me to see it. I'll show you all sorts of stuff that'll blow your mind. Oh, what I was going to tell you about when I realized how screwed up that I was. All the schizophrenics being the only ones who talked to me for like months and months. One of them that I knew, his name was Zach Boatman, and he thought he was Satan. Well, I walk into Starbucks one morning to warm up, and the first three people in line when I get in there are all three people who had told me they were Jesus, right?
Jesus.
And within probably 30 minutes, the next three people to come through the door were also all three people who were schizophrenic who had told me they were Jesus at some point. So I remember sitting there with these three wannabe Jesuses thinking to myself, man, it's too bad Zach Boatman's not here to tell me which one's the real Jesus.
Well, see, Nick, he doesn't. He believes that Jesus existed, but he believes that he's better than Jesus. Nick is above Jesus. I have more. Hey, look, I can put my hand over my phone and look, it's charging it. You know, look. He does that. So it's like he's got his phone there and he like puts his hand and it makes, you know, the screen kind of wiggles a little, and then he's like, yes, see what power I have.
See, I do that, but I do that with the automatic doors, and I only do it because it's entertaining. I walk up to it and I say, open sesame. Right? Sorry, I wasn't trying to point my food directly. Oh yeah, I'm wearing my men's skirt, so it's bearing my backside a little less.
I like your men's skirt though.
Yeah, it's pirate themed, just like the booty it's covering. Tore my trousers.
You going into the store to get something?
Yes, sir. I was going to go in there and get a bathroom coat.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I got to take a leak so bad I can taste it, which is unfortunate, but you're entertaining. So I figured I'd waste a few minutes to get the endorphins.
But I would rather you go ahead and do that.
You don't want me to leave in a puddle next to you? At your age, people wouldn't care. Was president. He was already, 20 years past being in the military.
JFK Jr., he died what?
98?
Yeah, late 90s. get a bathroom code when you were there?
I did, but I couldn't remember it by the time I got to the bathroom. I was lucky that somebody was coming out of the crapper as I was going in. July 16th, 1999.
Yeah.
Yep. And then,
Yeah.
who was the one we were talking about? Ted?
Is Ted still around? He's bigger than the screen.
August 25th, 2009, but apparently it's just a date of death. He wasn't assassinated. He's the biggest goddamn target in the whole Kennedy family. How did they miss him? Grassy ass moose cockhole. I don't think I said that properly.
What are you going to have something to eat before we go get something to eat? Or you're not going over there?
Well, it depends on the situation. It's always decent. I've never had anything there. Well, there's a few things that stab me in the gums because I have no teeth. But other than that, everything's pretty all right usually.
Yeah, usually it is.
I make sure and I go in and I get $2 worth of macaroni and cheese. That way I can talk to the ladies at the deli. I shouldn't say the ladies because there's like 3 guys there I like talking to as well.
Yeah, I talk to them. I try to keep them decent enough to where they're not going to spit on my food.
That too? Yeah, that's why I don't work there. I'm like, one of these days they might make me serve Craig some food and I just wouldn't be able to help myself.
I definitely like communicating about how I would like my food presented into its container. I figure they'll figure it out.
I like the fact that they talk to me like I'm a person most of the time.
Well, we're told that we're supposed to treat customers right. So it may not be you at all, it's just the fact that you're a customer.
Yeah. Well, some people are just shitty attitudes. Excuse me, sir. You wouldn't happen to have un fuego or un fuera. Gracias, señor.
The light. And fuego means on fire.
Fuego.
I don't want to call them pocket dragons.
What's that?
A pocket dragon?
Just make sure you don't say in front of his friend Nick. You notice I told him maybe it was your friend.
I haven't seen Nick. I'm wondering if he's
In jail?
Yeah, either in jail or I know he likes to go to Wilsonville occasionally, so maybe he just jumped bus and went there for a while.
God, he loves running his mouth, all sorts of crazy. I hope he didn't do that in court. If he did, he might be in the state hospital.
Well, he got arrested. A trespassing ticket is not a usual arresting offense.
Depends on where you're trespassing.
By the beach, it was basically it's not necessarily trespassing that got him in trouble. It was mouthing off to the Gwyn's casino security team that got him in trouble. See, Nick has a thinking that everything that he does is protected by God and the angels
And the aliens, the good aliens.
and then the law.
So which ones are the good aliens? The liberal aliens or the conservative aliens? All right, I was just wondering because he's very conservative-minded for being such a liberal person.
He's the only person that really believes that he dresses and acts like a hillbilly redneck. No, he really don't.
He also thinks that hillbilly rednecks are the save all God's answer for everything. Really, the only protecting is the Second Amendment. Are they protecting the First Amendment with the Second Amendment? No, the only part of the First Amendment they care about is their right to say, you can take my guns over my cold dead hands. Other than that, they can give a shit less. The government could take away all the drugs. All of the pharmaceuticals, all of the morphine, to shut down all of the hospitals, and those people would still be talking about their guns. Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I believe in choice. It's nice for them to have a gun. My wife had it. I was really surprised. Like, we come from a really small community. Of course, there is a lot of criminals in that area, so maybe that's why I got that. So I don't know.
Kind of need to this day and age, but if you're homeless, it gets you shot.
Yeah. Carried a pistol for the first year, but I didn't know what was going to happen, so I'm out here wandering around. Now it's like, better to have that pistol right now than it would have been 10 years ago.
In Boulder, Colorado, it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. I heard a car backfire. About an hour later, I go into Starbucks, and there's this woman who's got this perfect V across her face like this. It's black and red, going from right here forward. And she's got tears running down her face. Not tears because she's still crying in pain, but tears because she fucked her shit up. What the hell happened? Are you all right? She said, I'm fine. I just shot myself in the pillow. It's a good thing she was sleeping in that creek I was telling you about, or she'd have hit somebody. It's a heavily populated area. But yeah, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I guess that wasn't a car backfiring.
No, it wasn't.
It was a lady packing a firearm, having a bad night. Yep. Most of the people that I know that carried firearms as homeless people told people about their firearm. Within the first week of being homeless, they were arrested for illegal use of a firearm, or illegal possession of a firearm, or menacing with a firearm. Nick brags about having a gun.
Yeah.
That makes us all look bad. He don't have a gun. He's just trying to sound cool. And if he does have a gun, he shouldn't.
The thing with him is that when it comes to a weapon, they're bad for a lot of people. But he is the kind of person that will use it and probably.
I think they dropped him. He's too big. I think they just drop him. He's too big. If he was a bit smaller.
I wouldn't be telling you these about it.
Right.
I don't think that's his conversation. You know, the thing about that situation gets me is he's kind of too loose and can't be breathing his ears and stuff like that. So that kind of thing he probably does.
The great thing about that
I don't.
is it also means he doesn't have somebody's severed head in that bag. If he did, we'd have smelled it by now. One guy was telling me he went into his boots and it always smelled like shit. He said for like 3 weeks we couldn't figure out what the fucking smell was. Turned out one of his buddies severed a Vietnamese head and was keeping it in his foot locker. Right.
Well, I'm gonna walk over and grab some dinner.
After that story, I'm not hungry.
There goes that head. Right in that back of that wagon.
This guy was going to help me yesterday, and he didn't show up, and he was going to help me the day before and didn't show up. Today he was. He messaged me that he was on his way to storage. I drove to storage. I waited at storage for an hour.
He didn't show up.
He didn't show up, and his phone isn't even receiving messages. All right, I'll meet you down there where those people.
All right.
Hey, bud. Your foot looks pretty messed up. Anyway, that Samuel feller wants me to go check on the price of some cars down there at the tow lot. But I've been sticking around because Gary's gonna show up and help me move my stuff. But if he doesn't get back a hold of me and I'm just sitting there waiting, it kind of makes it difficult. Also, I sent him 2 messages. He didn't get either one. Says he's at a range. By the way, fuck this goddamn country. When it comes to abuse against an at-risk adult, either you care about the at-risk adult and you help them to get their words fucking heard, or you are taking advantage of them by even calling them a friend. Well, you think these people who you have guaranteed will never have a voice ever? Oh, hell no. I gotta pretend everything. None of you are. None of you with Brett. This is a man's only club. Only men have to endure that bias and assumption of guilt. Only men. I think women should have equal rights and equal pay, as long as they do equal work. If you don't know how to do any plumbing, you don't know how to do any roofing, you don't know how to do any framing, you don't know how to do cement work, well, you do need men. And that's the facts. There are not enough women, especially here in the United States, who know how to do anything useful. Most of the jobs that women hold are what? Cashiers and waitresses. But you can be a cashier or a waitress and still make bank. That's because you're getting special perks that no man gets. Or rather, only men with families who actually give a shit and have actual resources of their own. People I see getting disability are the ones who have friends and family who have enough money to run them around all these places. When you make the victim go in alone, they're going to be fucking denied. They have to have a friend or family. A disabled person, especially if they're a male, need, not want, but need someone to advocate for them. And I don't mean trying to shove somebody into housing that might show up 6 years from now. Maybe. What I mean is that when one of us is fucking victimized, these pieces of shit who are supposed to be mandated reporters need to do their fucking jobs. This thing is fucking sounding rougher by the minute. In every way, and each morning looking in the mirror, 'cause I get better looking each day. To know me is to love me. I must be a heck of a man. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can. I get that a lot of these recordings are just a whole bunch of basically me talking and trying to keep myself entertained. But that's because I'm harmed so often when I'm not recording that I have to basically keep recording. I never know when I'm going to run into one of these predators again. And everybody's got this idea that I spend a bunch of money I don't have to go to places that I can't afford to travel to, let alone live there. These places don't want to spend any money to help people out who are in fucked up situations. But they'll spend 10 times as much to punish a person for being victimized. You notice I say fuck this goddamn country quite a bit. There's a reason for that. Anyway, I follow Chris's instructions. He tells me to come down here, I come down here. Gross. Wolnez is here, and I'd rather not have to spray him in the face with a goddamn thing. I don't like pedophiles. I don't like rapists. I don't like child molesters. I'm just not down with predators, period. Now, whether you prey on a child, an older person, or a disabled person, you're still a predator. Now, am I going to stick around and bother with the food here? Oh, fuck no. I'll just go back to Safeway. Know who's good to you and be good to them. Stay away from everyone else. Are those folks at Safeway good to me? Well, they're starting to be, sort of, to some degree. They're starting to understand to some degree. Now, of course, I stay away from people like Andrew Wolnez. But if he comes into my vicinity, I can't run away. I'm going to record it. Now, this time around, I know what church I'm at. I'm aware what's going to happen if I get assaulted or threatened on this property. These people aren't going to do jack shit. They're not going to care. Now, if Krista was outside, I might ask her to bring me a food. Bring me a meal out. But I don't see her. And I'm not going to deal with fucking Wolnez. Thank goodness his dumb ass didn't approach me. You don't go running around calling people pedophiles. Gary just typed to me just now. Says 10 minutes ago, hey, I'm at storage and you not. was there for an hour. I messaged, but it didn't go through. I got the message just now from you. Are you still there? Or was the message old? I suppose I should probably drive that direction anyway. I don't particularly feel like hanging out with people who are predatory. Whether it's towards disabled people, towards the elderly, towards children. Somebody who chooses to be predatory like that is going to remain predatory like that until they're put in check. I got this thing here. No problem. There's a major issue. That right there is scary to most people. Of course, in this pocket, I got my pepper spray just in case. But guess what? If I don't go in and eat, if I don't go to that church, if I don't go inside, I don't have to deal with those issues. I don't have to pull out my taser. I don't have to pull out my pepper spray. Which is hot pink, by the way. On my Alright. Oh, it's a good thing that I went and got that macaroni, isn't it? At least I get something to eat. And, of course, with Wolnez being here and with me needing to go out to storage, well, it's probably a good thing that I got hungry when I did and told myself, you know what, I'm not going to wait for dinner because you never know when somebody's there that's predatory. Take me to Tillamook Sporting Goods.
All right, Tillamook Sporting Goods. Let's go.
That's fucking getting worse.
Take the next left onto Goodspeed Place, then turn left onto First Street. Take the next left onto Park Avenue, then turn left onto First Street. Take the next left onto Tillamook Avenue, then turn left onto First Street.
Smells like I spilled something on me.
Take the next right for 3rd Street, then make a U-turn.
Nope. Well, that smells kind of like antifreeze.
In 1,000 feet, turn right on
Makes me
Highway.
something.
Take the second right onto Pine Avenue, then turn right onto Olive Green.
Well, that's pretty cool. Apparently, I can send the location. Mm. You might have gone to the wrong storage place. I guess I gotta walk over and find what the address is here. He typed that he's next door to the bakery, and I typed KK. I'm patient. The thing is that all of these resources that you guys take for granted are inaccessible to people like me. And predators take advantage of that. Predators on the streets, predators with badges, any predator who can profit. Once again, as predicted, left my broken heart open and you ripped it out. Shut the door, baby. Don't say a word. She always rights the wrongs. She always rights the wrongs for me, baby. Oh, I guess I'll try to fix this pin here. The head popped off a bit while I was pulling it out of my seat. Whoa, 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 whoa. Apparently I heated it up too much. Fuck. Guess we'll try it like this. No. Well, I don't need just a regular pin floating around my car, stabbing me for some fucking god-awful reason, so I should probably find a place to throw it away. It's a safety pin. Or not a safety pin, but a push pin. I can't just throw it out the door, because I'll end up driving over it. I guess I could put it in my door. That'll work. For now, anyway.
As I talked about earlier, I do see three types of men: the chads, the simps, and the sexts. All right, and I see two phenomenons going on. One is the simps will do more and more and more to get these women. You see them buying extravagant rings, just doing the mostest to get these chicks. And you see the chads realizing how much leverage they have and just doing the wildest shit. As I talked about...
Look cute. Women's perspectives on relationships are always cute. And offensive if you have a brain.
The Special Operations Forces of Ukraine attacked 2 Russian airfields in the temporarily occupied Berdyansk and Luhansk this night. As a result of the strike, the occupiers suffered significant losses. According to the latest data, 9 helicopters of various modifications, special equipment located at the airfields, an air defense launcher, an ammunition depot were destroyed, and the runways of the airfields were damaged. The attack was a...
All right. My phone is ringing. Is your hair in a ponytail or did it fall out overnight? I said, is your hair in a ponytail or did it fall out overnight?
No, it fell out overnight.
Yeah,
All the worries I got.
Well, I got your message this morning, then I sent 2 of them, and it said that it'll send them again as soon as you're within internet range.
Right. You want a pie, an apple or cherry pie? The little pie?
Oh no, I'm
later.
sure.
And we
Actually,
got to go over there, and we got a loaf of bread if you want one.
I went over to the feed tonight. I got some macaroni and cheese because I had this feeling there might be, well, one of them predators over there. Sure enough, I got over there and Andrew Wolnez was there. So,
Who's that?
he's the dude who wanted to pretend I was a pedophile and a murderer and all sorts of stuff so he could assault me.
I would believe that Tillamook County's got a grudge against you.
I would too. The whole world got a grudge
Whoa,
against me since
yeah.
I was on TV.
I just looked it up, but I mean, yeah, it's unbelievable. I wouldn't even be in Tillamook County. No.
Well, that's the thing is before I was in Tillamook, I had to deal with this in Hood River. I keep getting sent to places like, what was it, Windsor, Weston, something like that.
You were in Hood River for a while?
I was.
Wow.
I was also rescuing people in the Dalles, Oregon. Matter of fact, one of the places I spoke about in the Dalles, the cops would send us to this church parking lot that feeds homeless people. And that's the only service that you could get as a homeless person. They would just send you there. Every service sent you there. And then, of course, you've got that place being run like a prison yard. So you've got, women that are this tall and got mental problems. And you've got guys that are this tall just got out of prison to think they run the place, beating on girls half their size. And then, of course, she gets kicked off the property, and 3 of the predators follow her off the property because they know where she has to go when she's not on the property, and they're going to go rape her. Right. At least if she's on that property, she's not getting raped. She's only getting beaten on, which sucks.
Yeah, Salem, they can fix the homeless problem by putting little houses on a parking lot, fencing it in, and these little houses are about the size of a pallet, right? And when they got 200 of them together like that, fighting went down, 3 people got killed within the first week. People weren't killing each other when they were living out there in the bushes.
Well, they make it real complicated for you to be in those housing units. They make the rules impossible to jump through.
Yep, you got to get up at a certain time in the morning. You got to
be out of there.
And
you have to go through
and look in there at any time.
And you got to go to a certain amount of meetings, and you have to go to a certain amount of their type of meetings, and you have to get signatures, and they
if
make
you get any kind of money a month, you have to pay them a little bit. It could be anywhere from 6 to 36 to 100. For the little houses.
Yeah.
What you got, you can prove what your money's doing.
And the closest thing that we got here, they want $400 a month for. I should have grabbed something to drink before showing up.
Yeah, I don't think I got it that hot.
That's all right. I got some money today because yesterday was my birthday. So,
all right.
Yeah, one of the manager ladies put $25 of gas in my car, and God, them kids were bad last night, screaming that N-word, throwing stuff at my vehicle. I relocated twice. They just kept it up. There's also one of them youngins that was hanging out down there. I recognized the face, but I don't know if he was one of the ones that was being a jerk. But he's missing now. He's been missing for 4 days. His mom was posting stuff up all over the Safeway.
That's the one I should stand outside in that door, remember? Missing. Yeah. He's in school,
Tommy White.
Right? This kid's in school, right? I mean,
Yep. Well, no, he's 21.
He's 21?
So, yeah, he's probably still finishing school, I guess. But they don't call it finishing school. They call it like college, but community college.
Right. And
he's that age.
If you saw Tillamook Community College, I mean, it's a building that looks like a storage unit.
Yeah.
Right at the high school, right? I mean, so they're using high school teachers for the college. I mean, it's nothing like Willamette University, no.
Well, he's around the same age to hang out with the folks that usually hang out at the parking lot. Most of them are between 16 and, like 25 or so. Some of their older brothers and stuff come and hang out. Some of them bring their little brothers and sisters who are like, 12, 13.
Yeah, I can't remember where we were, but we saw it on a door.
Safeway, maybe. They put them up all over. I posted it up on my YouTube channel, too.
I used to get the Amber Alerts, but I got out of it because they send a lot of that stuff out to all fake. Go looking for people.
Well, when I go looking for people, it's usually because somebody I know went missing. And that's how I got started. My little sister went missing in 2012.
Well, I know.
Yep, and that happens too. Hannah Pendergrass, she ran away when she was underage. They brought her back when she was 16. She was pissed. You know, sometimes them girls run away because they got a crush on a boy. Sometimes they run away because dad can't keep his nasty cockbeaters to himself.
Well, before my daughter turned 18, there were times I saw her later on the milk carton.
Oh, well, you know where
That's
she's
mean to
at?
say, isn't it? But if you go to jail for you know your kids not going to school and stuff, the first time I went, spent 4 days in jail because of where I went. That's it. You can't touch them. You can't spank them. You can't scold them. You can't do anything.
Yeah, I make a very clear distinction between beating a kid and
Right.
let me give you an example. If your son doesn't know that fire is hot and he burns your other son with a match, he doesn't know that fire is hot. The easiest way to teach him is to explain it. But if you explain it over and over again and the kid isn't understanding it and has burnt your other son 4 times with a match, well, your kid doesn't understand what being burnt is. At that point, you should probably do something to separate them. And if you have to punish them, you don't punch them in the face. You don't punch them in the gut. You don't burn them with a cigarette.
The only place you hit them is on their ass because it's a direct line to their brain.
Yes, it is.
And then you don't have to hit them hard because all you have to do is say the right words and smack them once and it's all over. But with my daughters, I didn't even have to do that. I just said, you can't even carry the Williamson name. And they were crushed. But you know, some people do. I'll tell you what, my dad wasn't easy like that on me. I got hit with garden hoses. I thought for sure I was far enough away from him so that garden hose hit me.
Fucking Tyco tracks when I was growing up.
The jingle of his boots go, not half a camper today.
My dad just gets drunk. Then when he gets drunk, he gets in that preaching mood. And then as he's preaching, he really likes to stop once in a while and sucker punch you in the gut. But then he goes right back to preaching while you're trying to recover your air. You go, and just about the time you recover it, it's time for another sucker punch. I'm like, I don't see how either one of us is learning anything from this.
Nope. I can remember my dad jumped off the back porch about the time I had asthma. Jump off the garage roof. I know he used his brand new top Cadillac top for a trampoline. It didn't work. Went right through and landed on the back of the floor right behind the front seat. And I'm staring out of the top of it. I had him on the back porch going, it's gonna hurt, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the kids took off running. Oh, is that your store? You gotta go up the stairway.
Yeah, that's what makes it
How many
helpful.
stairways do they have here?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 steps.
308 right there. That's wicked. 13 steps, huh? And this thing won't fit up there. And they don't have a acorn lift, do they?
They don't. Yeah, basically, if there's anything heavier than myself or my cane, I basically have to try to move it up one step at a time, and then I move my butt up to the next one. I basically have to take a seat 13 times.
I used to go up and down, what was it, multiple 60 steps, right? I mean, 60 steps to the top. And there was 4 apartments on every floor. And there were, so when you're doing it, that was how many steps to the very top, right? And carry all the garbage there, recycled down, right? And yeah, like 22 of them that I did. And so I stayed pretty physically fit going up and down stairways. But you know, it depends on how the stairs built too. That one there looks like they're built pretty good. They got a less rise than they, you know, on the step. You know, it'd probably be easier. You can put stuff from your car up there too.
No,
Then it'd probably be easier for you to pull forward or turn around, right?
You're right.
I can turn around.
well, I'm gonna pull forward anyway.
Yeah, we don't have any windows. We can't go in there.
Uh, uh. There was one apartment building when I was in California. Real nice place. Had a yard that was 3 times the size of the building. And if you know anything about Southern California, you got a yard half the size of your building, then you're considered rich because there's no real estate there. Anyway, in order to get just up the equivalent of 1 flight of stairs, there was over 200 steps. But it's because they kept on having really short steps that were all rounded, and then they'd go to a flat away, and then another bunch of really short steps. Here we go. Do what?
Hey, we're gonna run over to the store real quick and get some cigarettes because we don't have any.
All right.
We're gonna drive. You want something to drink?
Sure. Anything at all.
Huh?
I said anything at all. I got like $5 here. I can give you two.
No. You tell me what do you want to drink? Tea, milk, pop, water.
The 99-cent teas they got.
Huh?
The 99-cent sweet teas if they got them, and if not, just a can of any soda pop that's got actual sugar in it, or any soda pop that doesn't have aspartame. No, the diet stuff
Right,
is
like
gross.
the Mexican Coca-Cola.
That stuff is good.
Yeah, if we can find it.
It makes me fart weird though. It makes me fart weird though.
I love this stuff though.
It's the real sugar flavor. It has a little bit more of a crisp flavor. I better pull forward.
Pull forward a little bit because I can't get around.
Yes, sir. The party was asking if it was my apartment. It's a floating door sitting above a loft back there. The gentleman that I talked to earlier, before I came this direction, or before I went to the feed, that's Craig. And he helped me to take some of my stuff up there into storage too. I do have some stuff in my car that I'd like to take up there, but I got to sort through it. See, I don't have a place to sit and sort through it. I can't go up and down the stairs to sort through it. I don't have a place to put it. There's no reason to sort through it if I just have to put it right back up where I started, because I don't have access to it, because I can't keep running back and forth to take that shit down and replace it with the stuff that I need to survive out on the street, so that I can go back and replace it with the stuff that I need to go to the legal shit, just so I can go back and replace it with the stuff that I need to survive for another day. But you just pretend that's not how it is, right? And that makes it okay. Drive you to fucking drinking. Anyway, when I see predators, obviously I saw Mr. Wolnez. Obviously I didn't go looking for trouble. I didn't go tasing him with my taser or spraying him with my pepper spray. I just fucking left. Now, I had the foresight to get some macaroni and cheese beforehand because I kind of had a feeling There's a lot of people here who are predatory. And like Gary was saying, yeah, Tillamook does seem to have a set against me. That's pretty fucking obvious. I make it blatant. Are these people pissed off because I'm some horrible child molesting monster? No, they're pissed off because they did bad shit and I recorded it. They did bad shit to me that they shouldn't have done, or they did bad shit to others that they shouldn't have done. Maybe they shouldn't have done it instead of being pissed off that I recorded it. And you know, same shit everywhere I go. Well, why don't you just move? You know, if I was you, I'd just move somewhere else. Yeah, where? Where? What, you gonna help me to move to Palestine? You gonna help me move to Israel? Shit, I already got people pissed off at me in both places. That's right. There's a woman named Dolene Khatib in Palestine who was messaging me just a couple months ago. Her and her husband both. Are you going to treat me like a person, or are you going to treat me like I'm entertainment? A lot of people think that I'm Jewish just by looking at me. And of course, since I support Israel 100% in this particular war, that just reinforces people's belief that I'm Jewish. Well, I'm not. I'm a Russian German of Hebrew descent, also known as a mutt. Yep. I tell people to look my name up, and apparently he looked my name up. I say you look it up, you realize why it is people hate me. You look at my evidence, you realize it's all bullshit. You don't get to back a man into a corner and poke him with a stick with your friends and pretend that he's a bad guy for asking you to stop, for telling you to stop, for screaming for help, stopping it. All because a girl didn't get what she wanted right when she wanted it. It's pretty fucked up. As far as the racism goes here, I'm from Chapel, Nebraska. This ain't my first goddamn rodeo. There's also a lot of closet racists here, you know, the ones that'll tell you that black people stink and stuff like that. Oh, you can tell black people are a different species because they smell different. They don't just look different, they smell different. Their skeletal structure is completely different from ours. God. Oh God, am I hearing this again? Like we're going back to 1936 or something. Not sure if y'all knew this, but in 1936 there were nationwide laws created against Jews in Germany. Also, there were protests, anti-Jewish protests in London, in Paris, in New York City. That's right. 1936 was the year of the Jew haters. All of these countries after the Holocaust, they said, oh, look at these horrible things that the Germans did. How dare they? We can never allow this to happen again. Oh, that didn't even last 10 years, did it? Wasn't even 10 years before we run into another fucking genocidal goddamn idiot. Oh yeah, but this time they was Frenches, so that makes it okay. And immediately after that, while the French were still being imperialistic assholes getting their asses kicked, the British did the same goddamn thing. And they kept on trying to suck the United States into it. The United States was sucked into Vietnam for damn sure. That wasn't until the 60s, though. We got all these veterans talking about how we owe them because they fought in a war in another country for rights that we don't have. Now, you've gotten to hear my anti-veteran rants. They're not nice, are they? Well, they're the stationary equivalent of the chastising that I get. You know, all you homeless people out here, you know, if you guys could just stay off the drugs. Meanwhile, who's the most likely person to be on drugs per profession? Nurses. Nurses do a lot of fucking meth. Or the government equivalent of it if they can get it from their doctor. But then again, a lot of them, the reason they're smoking meth is because the doctor isn't allowed to let them work if they're taking the government version of meth. It even says so right on the label. When you have people's lives in your hands, such as in a hospital, you can't be affording to go to work all fucked up. And the hospital, this is the important part about the HEPA laws that are supposed to protect us patients. They're not used to protect us. They're used as an excuse for those people to deny us our rights to our own medical paperwork. I'm not on Israel's side because I'm Jewish. I'm on Israel's side because I pay attention to history. When I paid people to help me, I paid them well to help me in most cases. But they didn't help. They just took advantage of me. I needed their help because I can't go to the cops alone and I can't stop this abuse alone. All they're going to do is give me the mentally ill treatment and blow me off and pretend that I chose it. The police acted inappropriately on multiple occasions here in Tillamook. Close to 24 times. Just didn't want to do their jobs, kept wanting to pawn me off on mental health, who pawns me off on other mental health places, who eventually pawned me off on the police, who pawned me back off onto mental health. Is that beeping bothering you yet? Because it's driving me fucking nuts. Now, one of the things about this gentleman, he's quite a bit older than me. He's able to do things that I'm not, but barely. He probably ain't gonna make very many trips up that stairs, and God knows I ain't gonna make very many trips up that stairs. I've been keeping an eye in my rearview mirror and keep looking back just to make sure everything's safe. 2 guys pulled up and it made me paranoid for like half a second, except for the fact that I know the passenger and I recognize the vehicle. They opened the door for me last time. I showed up and I couldn't, well, not last time, the time before last, because I couldn't remember the code. The last time I was able to get a hold of, I think his name is Tyler, I'm not sure. But he told me the code, just had to call him up and get it, write it down in my hand. Alright. Guess I better go unlock it. No, he got it. The thing is, I'm an at-risk adult. I'll be abused no matter where I go. I'll be taken advantage of no matter where I go until I have a friend or family member who fucking cares. Not people like Michelle Yoko Stewart, who's gonna send me a friend request and pretend like she gives a shit. And then a year later, she finally says something. Alright. Well, back. So, where the hell did I put my cane? Can't drive off without it. I've done that before. What the hell? Ah, here it is. Got about 3 feet.
Yeah, in the mirror, it's close about an inch.
Man, everybody's in better physical shape than me. You got about 9 foot? That ought to be good. Yeah, to give us enough room that we're not getting in their way too, which is good.
Got it open there?
I do.
Okay. Those are the, yeah, clear at the bottom, clear in the back. Why can't they put them out front where they belong?
They're weird.
They had orange ones in there and the grape, and they're really good too, but the Coke I love. I don't like them Cokes like that can, but that's all our RV sells, park sells, and when you're thirsty, you gotta do it. I got an opener right here if you need it.
All right.
I mean,
I left mine in my car. I'll have to dig it out.
Jesus on it.
Oh my God, I'm offended.
Why?
I don't know. It's the American thing to do nowadays, isn't it?
Oh yeah, right. I don't usually let people pick my friends, but I was told to stay away from you.
Well, people are smart.
Yeah. And I said, well, really? What has he done so bad that, you know, I know he killed that girl and buried her and everything. But, you know, the Tillamook police here dug this girl's yard up 6 times in 2 years. I swear to God that there was a body buried there, right? And every time it was her dog that was getting ran over. And what, you got to make it worse on her by taking it. You know, can't you leave it alone? Right next door to her, though, under the shed, there was 4 bodies. When the people moved out, there was 4 bodies there. And they couldn't figure that one out, right?
Well, you know, here's the thing. They found the guy who killed Natalie. They put him in prison. He's serving 48 years
He
for it.
confessed to it.
Yep. The thing
They
is...
never did find it on Craigslist, the ad where she wanted to kill herself.
Oh, they did. They took it down. That was the 3rd time she advertised it. The guy who was investigating it, his name was Officer William Barr. He used to be a friend of mine.
You know that there's 17 kids that did school shootings said 2 weeks before they did it on Facebook they were going to do it, and they didn't pay attention to it. Nobody saw it or whatever, you know what I mean? But they were telling exactly what they were going to do, and they didn't get them stopped.
I had professionals using the Jesus as an excuse not to do their job. So I made a video where I spoke about what the Bible actually says. I explained that the Bible doesn't say you're supposed to kill those people. Jesus said those people are going to die. It's not the same thing.
Well,
so then they said, oh my God, Sean said he was going to kill us. I'm like, oh my God. And then they didn't let me go to court. Instead, they arrested me and sent me to prison on bogus charges. And they were misdemeanors they charged me with. And then they had to drop the misdemeanors and let me out of prison after 7 months.
You want to really have a bad time in a county, though? Hit a judge.
With what?
That was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, they arrested for the girl who moved out, didn't they? And that was 35 years ago. I mean, it was 35 years ago. People go down. Yeah, they don't even know why they hate me, but they hate me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go back to that courtroom either. We're not supposed to. And I was summoned back there. And when the judge went, oh, wait a minute. This is what did he call this? A conflict of interest. We can't do this. Well, no.
They walked right over every conflict of interest. They illegally prevented me from turning in the officers who assaulted me, and then they made me go back to those officers who turned in crimes that were committed against me, allowing those officers to retaliate by helping my predators get away, and of course, having me locked up on crimes that were not committed.
2 years ago, they had worked 3 years trying to bust this guy that was doing drugs down here. And this guy gave a lot of people the drugs. I read the paperwork and he said, well, I don't need money to buy it from him, and he'll give it to me. You know, like, oh. And they found him and his wife in the surf. Said they drowned, right? He wouldn't be floating. His lungs got to feel full of water before he could go down and drown. The boat went down and said, he wasn't in the boat. And his daughter, who was a good friend of my son's, said she didn't want to dig into the can of worms, like what happened. And I said, I'm telling you right now, you really don't want to go in there because he embarrassed the police so bad that they had to get rid of it.
Well, you see, everybody in this town knows how corrupt the cops are. Everybody. There's not anybody who doesn't.
And other places.
But they all say, well, we can't do nothing. I'm too afraid. I'm afraid to talk about the cops. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of that.
I'm not afraid, but I don't want any fight with him.
Neither did
I went through a long fight with him once in Yamaha County. I mean, they fucking raided me. They fucking took my cars away from me. They did things that they shouldn't be able to do. They searched us how many times and said, well, what are you going to do? Go to court? I mean, the judge can believe us over you.
Did you tell me the same thing?
Huh?
Yup.
And that's exactly what's going to happen.
Or when you're trying to turn in the officers who assaulted you and you're told you got to go to the sheriff, the sheriff says, well, I'm not going to investigate it. I believe their word over yours.
You want to hear something? It was on the jail cameras, and I'm in prison when the lawyer gets a hold of me and says, hey, you never said a word about getting the shit kicked out of you when you were... I said, well, look, man, when I said that I wanted the state police to pick me up because I just embarrassed the county, right? And then they put me in a county jail.
Yeah.
I said, you know what was coming? You don't think they waited 46 days to take me to court because I had to heal? I mean, because I was.
They did the same thing to me in Boulder and in Arapahoe County. They also did the same thing with my release when I was in prison.
And they said, well, you know what? I said, I don't want to out. I just want them to never be able to touch me again. They can't lock me up, and they hate that.
Well, they have to do their jobs, the state police, when you try to turn it into them. But when you call them up, they tell you, oh, well, we can't do anything. You have to go through their department. Like, I already went through their department. They threatened me, harassed me, intimidated me.
Well, we had, in Yamaha County, we had state police every time the county cops dealt with them. State police.
They're the ones that are supposed to in that case. Matter of fact, in a situation where there's conflict of interest, if any of those officers that the conflict of interest is with show up, they have to leave. They have to.
Well, it was known to everybody that two of the police officers said, I'm taking you down. I don't care if I got to plant something on you or set you up. I'm going to make sure that you go. And then when they raided us, he tried to plant something on us in the state and the, what was that, ATF and hazmat. All three units said, you can't do that. We already cleared the house. Well, if they cleared the house and you put it in there, it'll make it look bad on them.
Before Natalie was killed, officers wouldn't do their job, kept sending me to mental health. After Natalie was killed, they all got involved. Every jurisdiction that I had to deal with before Natalie was dead, that blew me off, was involved in trying to cover it up because they had done it improperly, immorally, and wrong and illegally. And all they had to do was press false charges and use those false charges as an excuse not to investigate any crimes against me, and then drop the charges literally years later after they've been able to destroy their body camera evidence. All I needed was one friend that wasn't a stupid words I shouldn't use in public.
Right. Well, I found out really the hard way that if there's a dead body, I want nothing to do with it. I'm not turning it. I'll tell somebody else to go do it because they can have the guy, and they did. They had the guy that did it in jail. He was headed to prison. But because I said something about it, I'm fucking in jail now, and I don't know when I'm going to court. And it's like, no, I didn't do it. I never did it. So I'm not going to do it.
Well, that's the thing with Natalie. She was my best friend, but for a whole year before she was killed, I didn't see her. I didn't talk by. Tried to get a hold of her because I was being assaulted and people were threatening to kill me, threatening to kill my family. The cops told me, well, you just take care of this Edicore. We got real police work.
Well, and you can't, I mean, when I read the article, you can't say what the police said in there because the police said that she told them that you were stalking, but there was no stalking order on you. I mean, you have to have a stalking order on you.
Well, she was able to get a protection order against me, though, because I didn't know that I had a court date. I didn't even know that she was in the state of Colorado. I thought she was still in Virginia. I'd been trying to get a protection order against her and her friends who had been assaulting me for over a year when she died.
Yeah, but that's a whole different thing than stalking. Stalking is a real bad thing, you know what I mean? Like that Tubbs, remember?
Well, because of the situation with Natalie, every predator that I've had to deal with since plays on that. Oh, he's stalking me. He's stalking me. He's a predator. Oh, I'm so afraid of him. Oh, I have kids. Like, dude, you come out of nowhere and assaulted me for no fucking reason because you wanted to build up some clout because you saw something on TV and you put your nasty cockbeaters on me. And now you're going to call me a child molester and a rapist and a murderer? Here's the thing. I've never been charged with rape, never been charged with murder, never been charged with any form of child abuse. And nearly every one of the predators that I tried to turn in are already registered.
Oh, but I've been the #1 suspect on a lot of those things. I mean, even when I was in jail, I said, hey, wait a minute.
I told on prison guards who were molesting inmates and sexually assaulting inmates, and the guard that I had to turn it into is Assistant Warden Sarah Nelson Torciello, and you can look her name up. She's in prison right now for sexual assault against an inmate. There was another one, Sergeant Michelle DeCini. I had to turn it into her. By the way, she's alive because I turned in the guys that were trying to kill her. Said they were going to kill her because she was supposed to bring them some cell phones in her you-know-what prison pocket.
Well, when I was in prison, I watched her.
She's in prison for sexual assault against an inmate, too.
I watched the big, and he was known, Big Baggett, run the place, man. He was doing 4 life terms, but he run the place. He would leave and he had 10 little Indian girls, you know, then dressed in, clothes, dresses, right? We're all supposed to be in jumpsuits. We're not supposed to have those. We're not supposed to have bows in our hair. And he did. And I mean, there were guys dressed as girls, right? And I went, wow, how did you get away with it? And he had anything he wanted and anything, he ruled everything. And when the guards were beating on me and getting down on me, I can't fight. One fight goes 10 more years, 1%, I'm not gonna do it. I'll take it.
And that's the thing people don't get with me, is that out of literally over 100 recorded assaults against me, I haven't thrown a punch, not even once. Not in any of
That's
it.
a hard thing to do.
And I got it recorded. It's not like, you know, it's something that I just made up and it's just a figment of my imagination. Last night, while them youngins were doing that stuff, I walked up to one of the people that worked there. I said, did you hear that? He said, no, I didn't. But then they drove by again and yelled it like 4 more times, screaming the N-word at me. And he said, I heard it. I heard it that time.
Should have took a picture of Stephanie's boyfriend, right? Or Tiffany's boyfriend. Because I really felt bad when I saw him, didn't I? I mean, seriously, you could tell. I've never
Tiffany,
felt bad about beating up somebody.
Tiffany and Charlie, or Pug?
No, it was her niece. This guy's selling heroin out of our yard and telling me that he can control everything. And I said, buddy, I'm telling you right now, this ain't happening. I'll move your trailer right now. Well, he put a can of bear mace, that stuff that shoots 40 feet. It's got little pellets in it. And underneath the sleeve of his coat. And when he got to the fence, I wouldn't let him in, and he sprayed me right in the face, right in one eye. And it was bleeding right away, boom. And for some reason, I don't know how I did it, but I got him down on the pavement and would beat the living daylights out of him. And I thought she hollered at me to stop. And I jumped up and went back in the house. And I dumped Dawn dishwashing liquid in that eye. When the cops got there, they said, she hit him with a rock. And I said, it was about that size. Because I couldn't use this hand. This hand was covering my eye. It hurt so bad. And when they saw my eye, they looked. I said, bear mace. I mean, that shit hurt. I mean, it fucking stung.
I have some in my car just in case of somebody like Robert Farnsworth, in case he has another episode. I like Farnsworth when he's doing good. When he's not doing good, he's violent.
Well, I'll tell you what, I learned when the cop sprays mace on you or tases you, go down. Do not say that it doesn't bother. They'll shoot you next. I mean, I watched it happen. They'll shoot you. And I'm not going to go through that. I don't want to be shot. Even in Beaverton, remember? Because they heard I had lots of guns. We came out of the house and looked across the street, and on the gas station roof was a SWAT team. Whole SWAT team.
Well, cops keep coming in and telling people that I'm wanted for murder, that I murdered somebody, that I'm wanted in Colorado for murder. These are police that are running around spreading this slander, intentionally trying to have me killed. That's attempted manslaughter, what they're doing. They know that I'm being harmed. They know that they're the ones that started this shit. But I got to have somebody who actually has some cojones.
Somebody put a hit out on me for $10,000 in Yamhill County, and the cop asked me how come I didn't go to them about it. And I said, I thought it was you guys.
Right?
I mean, seriously, I thought it was them. Remember that? And then when I moved into Jefferson, everybody in Jefferson said, you're the guy.
I told on the cops here, and I recorded many of the witnesses. Yeah.
That's why they hate you, huh?
Well, no, they hated me just because I'm a homeless person. But then it got worse because they thought I was somebody who's just going to lay down like a bitch and just let people hurt me.
You know,
I can.
I know where Rosenberg's is.
I do.
Here, that right straight across the road through that big field right there. And Rosenberg owns all that too. And that little patch of timber, there's over 60 people living in there.
And I don't go over there for a reason. A lot of those people don't like me because they're drug addicts and I'm not. When they took advantage of me, I spoke up on my YouTube
They're all
channel.
drug addicts. No, all of them are, yeah.
And these are the people that the mandated reporters keep sending me to for quote unquote peer support.
You ever seen the Indian girl that walks around and's got that?
Dora.
Yeah, she lives there. And she's kind of a guard there too.
Oh, she gets really mean. Now, some people did talk to her about bullying me, and she stopped since then, and I'm glad they talked to her, but...
I mean, she's asked me for cigarettes, she's asked me for change at the door, and I mean, and I've never, you know, if I have it, I'll give it to her, but I went in there looking for somebody one night, and I met her and a couple other people, and they wanted to know why I was there. What are you doing? I said, I'm looking for somebody. I got to tell him his dad died and he's a millionaire. And it's true. I mean, this guy's been living off of, you know, and his dad wouldn't give him a dime. Well, his dad died and gave it all to him. And you know, I should go tell him, right? I think so, but I don't think it works. I don't know. I don't like doing stuff. They don't harass me, so I leave it alone. Nothing like Yam Hill used to do. Yam Hill used to like 24/7, just waiting for me.
Well, I get messed with everywhere I go. The majority of the messing with me that the cops do is just ignoring me when people are abusing me, lying to me, sending me in magical circles that cost all of my disability every month, and then come back and bully me some more, tell me the things people are doing to me are not against the law. I guarantee you, if I do them, they'll come harass me and tell me it's against the law.
Yeah, you wouldn't do good in Lincoln City either because they don't like homeless people. Beaverton is another place. They got on me for handing somebody money.
David and KB Saltzman are still missing from Beaverton. They've been missing since the end of 2019. I've been trying to find them.
Beaverton has over 10 billion people in it. And in 10 billion people, they have over 1,300 officers on duty at all times. And if there's not a crime that goes down in that place, that they don't stop. Nobody gets away with the crime in Washington County. I mean, if you're going to do a crime, don't go to Washington County.
Oh, I don't go anywhere intending to do crimes. If people are harming me, defending myself isn't a crime. It's just seen as a crime because my predators say mentally ill and magically it's my fault.
Well, when the president opened it up that it was okay for the heroin addicts to do heroin in front of God and everybody, and they started passing out crack pipes and needles.
By the way, I apologize for being a horrible person and assaulting you and threatening your life and all of the evil things I must have done to you in the mountains.
You got stuck up there, huh?
I did.
Well, it's probably good because we were followed back. I mean, I even pulled over and they went in front of me, and then they pulled over somewhere and then followed me in, and I went. And last night, remember? I went to put a sign on my motorhome that I got for sale, and what the fuck did they do? They got their lights headed right on the motorhome, like so I didn't need a flashlight. I'm using them, right? And I thought, thanks, guys.
Yeah, they've been driving by right before a lot of these assholes come and do stupid stuff, and I was told, well, they're just checking to make sure there's nobody else around before they come and fuck with you. I'm like, oh, you really think those cops are telling them underage kids to come fuck with me?
Yeah, I do. I watched him in that parking lot where Chris was, right? And I told Chris, well, you go down there and you start doing that to him, they'll have the cops on your ass. I'm telling you, Chris. And when he got arrested the third time, I said, what'd I tell you? Quit fucking with them kids, because you see, those kids are somebody, you know, somebody that belongs in this, like the people that live next door to us in the RV park. That girl, them cops took, and and she had kids.
Here's your lighter again.
Yeah, and she had kids, 2 of them. And when they arrested her, she goes, you don't know who I am and who my dad is. And I'm not shitting. 45 minutes later, she's back right there. So her dad was a judge or something like that. And I've learned, years ago, I tried to move down here and they wouldn't let me move in down here. I mean, it's lightened up a little bit, because they let the blacks move in down here. So
well, they've been giving hell to the Scudders, like telling them that they have to do a bunch of stuff with the things that are on their property. The thing is, if you're physically able to, that makes sense. If you're not physically able to, you do the best that you can, and they have been. Their house lit on fucking fire, so they're having to live in tents and live in RVs outside of their place while they get the place fixed. They're not rich. They have to do it a little bit at a time as they can afford it.
We had 45 people living on our property in Grand Ron. We had 45 acres, so I figured an acre a person. When the cops got on us over that, I said, "They don't have any place to live. You guys have been kicking them out. And as you kick them out, I let them stay here because they got no place to go, and you're going to take everything they got." Well, when they raided us, one of the couples that was there, he had a shotgun and he was a felon, and they tried to get him in court. And I said, "Show him the pictures."
Chris is a felon, and he's actually recorded on my channel trying to buy a firearm from Dallas Palmer. I told him it wasn't smart.
Yeah, he's got quite a few guns.
Yeah.
And I told him I wouldn't be bragging about it not being. And I said I was a felon too, but I got my rights back. I mean, I got expunged, and it took a lot of time and money to do that. I mean, remember they had to give me my guns back. They took them in one of the raids, all my guns, and they had to give them back a year later. And I made him sign a piece of paper saying that I wasn't liable for one of those guns for that year, because how do I know you didn't go out and kill somebody with it and then you give it back to me? And they gave me one extra gun that wasn't mine, and I left it in the parking lot on the ground because the lawyer said, "Don't take anything that's not yours." And I said, "Well, why would they do that?" Because they're setting you up.
Yeah, they tried to do that with a guy who wanted to use engine design. Well, my dad said it was a setup. He actually spent time in prison for an AR-15 that he sold, so he knows a little bit about it. But also, he got arrested in the 80s when they didn't have the ability to record everything. A camcorder was half the size of a car almost.
Right, yeah. Oh, we're in somebody's way.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I better open the door.
Yeah, they closed the door. I do the same thing in the storage unit. I make sure the gate's closed. This one here is not really secure because there's no gate.
Nope. Well, I've got over a dozen people on my channel recorded telling me that the cops are the ones spreading rumors that I'm a killer and all sorts of other
I
stuff.
can't swear to God they weren't in cop suits, but I feel cops, okay? I mean, I think they were detectives anyway, but they're young. But every one of the detectives in this county are young. There is no old ones.
Well, I'd ask you who told you to stay away from me, but the fact that you looked something up means you're probably not a fucking idiot.
Well, I take
That's not to say you've never had your moments. I've been
Yeah,
an
we
idiot.
looked up and we looked up on another site too, besides the one you gave us. I mean, because I want to know who I'm around.
They all tell different stories. Every one of them tells the story different, and all of them ignore everything I got.
I stuck up for a guy and his wife for a while and found out that they were the most evil son of a bitches on this earth. And I'm just feeding them to go hurt people. And it was like, that pissed me off. This guy's backing in on the other side too.
All you're going to encourage me to do is speak up. A lot of people, their idea is that I should just go kill these people, and I say, I'm not going to do that.
No, unless
If I kill them, I get to kill one or two.
If
That's
you're gonna
it.
die really quick, I mean, you know you are. Then maybe you could do that, but I wouldn't do it otherwise.
Yeah, if you're not terminally ill, telling on them, you could put away hundreds of them potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I've been surrounded by 45, 50 cops in a town that I didn't live in. I was in the phone booth, remember that? And because of the rumors that went around about me, there was a judge I hit, and that was my mistake. I have never hit a woman, child, you know. And still to this day, I go to that Rockville County. Remember we went in there to get those paperwork for you, so you could get your social security. And that motherfucker was all over me.
Well, I had one incident where a woman stabbed me in the butthole with a carrot while I was washing dishes, and when I turned around, she was like this close to me, and I hit her on accident. Not like punched her in the jaw, but my hands are in front of me, and I all I knew was that something stabbed me in the butt, so I wanted to turn around and see what the hell it was. And then there was one other situation where something similar like that happened. I'm trying to remember what it was now. But yeah, that was Nicole Gerald. She was a therapist. That should have been my first clue to run.
Yeah. Well, not too long ago, remember in Jay's yard, I got his probation officer and the code enforcement. At 3:30 in the morning, I'm working on his car, got my head down underneath the dash, bent and twisted, and a 5-cell mag flashlight hit me in the rib cage. I come flying out of there and pinned him against the wall because I don't know who it is. And what are you doing?
He didn't announce
What
himself.
are you doing here at 3:30 in the morning in his backyard and it's fenced in? And I mean, where do you think that was okay? You know, and they traveled with a cop after that because of that reason. I mean, and I said, you know, as soon as I realized who they were, I let go. I didn't hurt. I mean, it was pinning them was to stop them from hurting me. But I don't do that, do I? And I mean, actually, this kid that I did it to in Beaverton was the first time I've ever felt that bad. 3 weeks later, when I saw him, I went, "Oh my God, I really did that to him?" I mean, there's no way, man.
I saw a guy in Boulder that I felt that way about because I saw him like a week later and he looked like he had a bunch of softballs on his head. But he pinned me to the ground and hit me about 30 times before I fought back.
Yeah, well, this kid didn't have a chance because the minute he sprayed me with that mace, it was over for him. I don't even know how I got on the other side of the fence. I don't even know how I got on. And his girlfriend says, I kicked him in the face, in the nose 6 times and he wouldn't quit. And I thought, yeah, maybe that's why my nose hurt. But you know how it goes. But I mean, you know, if they're saying that about you, gotta be real careful.
It doesn't matter where I go, especially on the 29th, they put it on A&E, so it's like worldwide, but it's been worldwide. They've been making those Natalie Bollinger things since she disappeared.
Well, they found her and all that, right?
Yep, they found her. They found the guy that killed her. The thing is, police committed a lot of felonies trying to frame me for that. Painted me as some sort of super psycho serial killer. And then everywhere I go, I got to deal with people harassing me and assaulting me. They assaulted me and charged me with assault against a police officer so they could prevent me from turning shit in. That way they could gain access to a bunch of stuff that I'd already given to the officers in Natalie's case. They asked me to go to Boulder. I went to Boulder knowing Boulder wasn't safe, but I wanted people to find whoever it was that did something to Natalie, and I wanted them to find Natalie safely. All those cops did was take advantage of an at-risk and disabled adult. All they did was separate me from my friends and my family, separate me from any protections that I had, and separate me from all of my rights as a human being.
Well, that's the police officers, and they work on forensic. When I first got with the police.
Well, over a dozen people in this town have told me that the cops are the ones running around spreading these rumors. I've personally heard cops in multiple towns in Oregon telling these rumors to people that I'm going to for help.
Yeah, well, I'm serious. I'd be careful because, like I said, that Dwayne guy, they couldn't get him. They tried, they couldn't get him, but he ended up in surf anyway. And I'm sure they did it. There was no investigation. There was nothing.
Yeah, there's 3 deaths that have happened in the last month. They're not investigating.
Right. Well, I know another one.
There's also that young man who's missing, Tommy White, 5'6", who's born in July of 2002, I think it was. He's 21 years old. He's the one that's posted up all over the place in town. He's been missing for 4 days.
Yeah, Tommy, his name is Tommy White. He goes by April because he was at the prison. He went there, right? I stayed there. He was like a halfway house there.
All right, I'm going to try to make it up the stairs and unlock my door real quick.
Okay.
It's down.
You know your car door is open.
Yeah, I do. I can't close it or I won't be able to get back in. The handle's busted on the outside.
Oh.
Looks like you guys got the one right next to me.
Which one you going?
229, I believe.
329?
Yeah,
So that's right over here.
that's right on the page.
Yeah, you wait a second. Sorry about that.
That's quite all right. I'm pretty gimpy and the helper I got is pretty old, so we're not exactly going rabbit speed.
I have to. I got another door there to clean up today. All right, see you by tomorrow. And on the other side. Are you gonna clean it out? Or are you gonna be here for a while?
We're going to be bringing some stuff in. We probably won't be here very long. It's probably 3 or 4 trips up the stairs. That's about it.
Okay. Yeah, because I'd say if you're gonna be here for a while, so I won't get in your way. I can start doing moving stuff on the other side too. So.
Well, we don't have much, thank goodness.
Okay. I wish I could say that.
I got quite a bit in here and quite a bit up in the mountains, but
Yeah. That's what we had a bunch of in the mountains. We just had all moved back down. Yeah, I got 2 storage units too. We gotta get out by tomorrow. That's crazy.
yeah, I had to move all my stuff up the mountains because I didn't have the money for the storage unit, and then I just ended up getting lucky, sort of.
Yeah.
People don't understand that if they help me, like as a disabled person, when they say that they're going to help me, if they do help me when they say they're gonna, I have some leeway. It's when I have to wait for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I can't go in by myself. They'll talk over me.
Yep. Totally understand. How much more?
Sorry.
No, go ahead, take time. Go for it.
I didn't mean to get gimpy.
No, it's a break for us. I don't mind at all.
Are you coming down?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Room number 329. And there's a couple gentlemen up here. They could probably point you in the direction of it, if that's all right.
The door's open down there.
Yeah, all right. You're right. That's a good way to mark it. Thank you, Gary.
I know, no different than.
Now, I'm going to need to use one of these before too long, but I'm trying not to. Oh, sorry, wrong guy. I'm not trying it again. Not bad.
They're that way.
I'm just gonna cat these so look like that on 2 legs, dude. Oh my god.
How much do they charge me? Really? Bigger, a lot bigger? Oh, wow. Don't be tripping and killing yourself. Yeah, sorry.
I figured I'd try the
Just a
crutch.
second. I gotta do it because of my breathing. I don't want to get too far out of breath. Because then I'll really be fucked with you.
Then you get to wheezing and the strain starts constraining your throat and constricting it further, and then we got to go pump you full of machines and Benadryl.
Huh? Yeah, the bucket goes too, and the pot down there goes, and the hammers go, but we can set it all out, and then I can do it in, I gotta do it in intervals though.
Yes, sir.
I can't, all right, well,
All right. That's not us. No, you can put it in. Oh, hell yes, I'll take any help I can get. Although I don't want to get you guys in trouble.
I wouldn't even load the house, I would put it on my bike.
Well, that one's not got all the parts with it. The guy gave it to me for free because he doesn't have all the parts for it. And he said if you can find another one or you can order the parts online.
Yeah. The only thing I have to get, remind I have to get it, I need the chain for it.
Well, I'd give you that one, but it doesn't have a chain.
Yeah. But I'm just gonna order mine.
And it's just a tiny chain that goes to it, to another chain. Well, depending on if it's a sawtooth or not.
Well, it's like, it's in between the dirt bike and a bigger bike. Yeah, there you go, look. Put those in there where you like. There you go. Yeah,
I'm a lot weaker than I used to be. Stand by my fingers, with fingers.
from here?
I'm
You don't
not
have to climb the
capable.
stairs? Huh?
I'm not capable of carrying them. That's definitely too heavy. The bag I might be able to.
No, it's heavier than the pot.
Oh God.
Thank you for you.
Thank you.
Back on there too. Want to get it?
Yeah, there's something wrong with 4 years ago, I should have that shit on the- A year ago, you couldn't get it. You waited 9 years. My God, you must stop right in between. But, I'm here and it's out very. Go for it. And I just thought I get myself out of where it's at. Where am I gonna do it? Small and yeah, so, yeah, because they're stacking up and they're building. And you want it, because they charge them, like, you gotta go back and you $100, I'll get yours. I just got a nice idea about the way they do that. I got one right now, I'm thinking about putting on the back of the Toyota pickup that was a motorhome.
Oh, yeah.
I got it from,
Is there anything else? Or is that all?
that's all right.
Did you get everything out of the bag?
Yep,
This is all then. Thank
you're
you.
missing one jug, water jug, but
That's all right.
I let, Peggy use it when I moved her trailer yesterday.
Well, thank you for
I was
letting
gonna
me.
tell you where her trailer is, maybe you can get a, go by and see her.
Go for it. I'll let you guys there.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
But before you get the rest of that stuff, you're gonna really have to store this thing.
Yeah. Well,
No, you ain't got enough room to get it all in there and let you do.
well, most of that's going in the garbage, and some of it packs up real nice.
Yeah, that's what I mean, you're gonna have to.
Literally everything that was in there, laid across everything in the back. So I won't be able to get into the back, but I can lay some of it across here on the soft stuff. Most of that is evidence right there, all them bags. There's 15 bags worth of evidence between those and what's in here and what's in the other briefcase.
I was gonna ask you if you wanted to sell a roll of that plastic, but it's okay if you don't. I mean, if you needed money, just I'll just buy one.
Well, they're pretty cheap. They're
Yeah.
$11, I think, is what I paid for them. They haven't gone up much, but
In
they also-
Tillamook, you know, we just went priced at $19 for one of those down there at, down at the sporting goods center. I didn't look at what the price was on them, but I said, well, I'll wait. See, if I go to
2.5.
Beaverton, like I'm gonna go there, no, it's okay if you don't want to sell it, but I mean, I'm
Right.
going to Beaverton the day after tomorrow, so that's where you get things cheaper.
Yes, sir.
You get away from Tillamook, and it's cheaper. Like in Tillamook, it's expensive to buy anything.
Yep. I think we do.
Now you can buy food up in Forest Grove for what you spend in Tillamook. You can buy a whole month's worth up there,
Yeah.
Yep.
and it's worth the gas if you got a vehicle. I mean,
I go to Winsburg a lot.
That's when people
Yeah,
keep
that's-
telling me about
uh-huh.
Portland, and I need to go to Portland to go to get a specialist and get a
Yeah.
doctor and all that. But I gotta find somebody who's going up there who will help to set up the trip with me and go with me and go
Right.
see the doctor, basically like I was a 5-year-old.
Right. I hear that. Yeah. Terry can get hold of you, right?
Who?
Terry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he sees me all the time down at the machine safe.
Okay, well, if you see it and you need a ride or anything, have him get hold of us.
All right, what was your name?
Leroy.
Leroy?
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Been around here for a while, have you? Or?
I've been here since, I moved here in 2007. And I wasn't planning on staying, but
Yeah, I come down here hunting somebody, and he died on me, so I couldn't do anything. But no.
but yeah, no. Usually work for you during the day. So yeah, I mean, if you need a ride, we can see if we can do it. I haven't got a problem doing it if I'm not busy.
Well, if it wasn't for this guy working for free, I've been out there trying to panhandle so I can have gas, and also I wanted to give him gas, but he's been real nice about that. Oh, I'm too good for your money. I don't take nothing from these little whiny youngins.
Who gave you gas money the month before? I mean, I know that. I know how you are. I've been there before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I said I'm not much ahead of that, but I'm enough ahead of it I could help.
Well, that's what we're getting ahead of it right now a little bit, and so.
I've been stockpiling copper. I've got over 300 pounds of it clean and ready to go.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for that price to come back up. And I won't take it to April. I buy it from people that are taking it to April. But that's where I buy it from.
I got a par with fiber.
Yeah, I go up there to Calbag, but I know enough people have got their out. This guy's got cash on him sometimes, and he'll buy it for 10 cents more a pound than April paid. Oh, shoot, April don't pay shit.
Well, shit, that's like during COVID, when the can machines were down and all that. People were wanting to sell their cans, and I was like, well, I ain't really got the money. And he's like, well, we'll do a half price.
Well, I'm such an asshole.
That's the way to work it then. I mean, if you got a truck to haul it or something, you know.
Well, we never $1,100 worth of cans sitting behind our apartment. And we started taking them Chester's over there, and
that's because they take them. I mean, it's made you carry in.
Yeah.
Chester's?
Yeah,
that's not in town,
I
is
got
it?
a sister-in-law that lives in Pacific City. I got a sister-in-law that lives up in Washington, and they only get a little bit out of them. You know, they got platinum and all the bullshit.
Yeah.
I said, don't do that. And she goes, you can't take Washington cans into Oregon.
Okay.
They don't know the difference. Come on.
No, if they look at them, they could probably tell,
But they can't tell that it was
It's the
sold in
same
Washington.
barcode.
Right.
It's the same barcode.
Right,
Yeah,
same
yeah,
barcode.
exactly.
And then
It's
and
Westpac.
Chester's will take the big bag, you know, like the.
Yeah. But you have to sort them right, or they screw you on.
Yep.
I went in there one time when I didn't have them all sorted like they wanted, and they didn't tell me that to start, and it's just like, they just robbed me for all my cans of this shit.
Well, I should let you know, just in case we meet again, I have Tourette syndrome. If I wink at you, I'm not.
No, I just no.
I wouldn't even think of it anyway.
Last night I was doing a really rapid fire because I had some people
I
throwing
don't
shit at my
think-
vehicle.
You can wink at me all you want, I won't do nothing.
Yeah, I might hold you back with one hand. You know?
Yeah.
If you try to kiss me, I'll hold you back with one
Kiss me,
hand.
I'm pretty good. You're right, but I'm not a violent person. I don't go swinging. If somebody's beating on me, that's a different story. But I got over 100 people recorded assault me on my YouTube channel, and in every one of those situations, I never fight back.
Right.
I don't get to. If I fight back, I'm getting hauled off to jail. They're gonna automatically win by calling me mentally ill. I'm like,
Yeah,
I hang out with people who believe in aliens and Santa Claus and shit.
Oh, I
Like, do
do.
you think I'm not?
I believe in aliens.
well, I do.
I know my third grade teacher was an alien.
Well, yeah,
I see it all the time in the sky.
when I lived camping up Eckroth Road, about 2 miles up there, and me and my buddy were sitting outside one night, and we saw, I swear to God, it was a spaceship. It was just going just in a straight line, and then straight back, not no turns, and just like this.
And quiet.
Well, I believe in the possibility of aliens, but here's the thing. If you got a drug addict who's spreading rumors about
Oh,
you,
yeah.
the aliens didn't make her do it, the Illuminati didn't make her do it.
Were you in Bogota, Colombia this year?
No,
Because then
sir,
the
I
cops are
wasn't.
probably watching you. But if you weren't in Bogota, Colombia, they're probably not
Look
even
at the
watching.
size of my nose. The first thing they do is arrest me thinking I'm going to snort their whole country worth of product at once. I've got
I
a
always
ego
tell
beat
them-
from hell.
I always tell him, what is this? He said there's 11 grams owed on that car. And I said, 11 grand? Fucking car ain't worth 20. You know, gram. What's up with people, gram?
Yeah, exactly.
One thing
Yeah.
is, I've never tried cocaine. That was my parents' drug of choice. And I'm one of those few people who can learn from other people's mistakes.
Oh, I tell you what, 25 years ago, it might have been a different story 25 years ago. I mean, I did some wild shit 25 years ago. But
Oh, yeah.
now that I'm over 65, I don't do shit like that no more. I don't want to go to jail.
I never got into
I'm only
drugs.
48 and I don't want to go to jail.
I tried
I'm
it.
in jail too much.
When all my friends in Chapel, Nebraska turned into meth heads, I ain't gonna lie, I tried that shit. I was like, all right, between sitting on the couch for 4 hours with some underage girl, because she's my friend's sister, and we're watching Disney movies, because they're gonna be back in 5 minutes. 4 hours later, we're already through. We're on our third Disney movie, and they come out and they're like, we'll be back in another 5 minutes. I was like, fuck it. If I gotta do drugs to hang out with my friends, I'll go do drugs. So I tried it, and I went to sleep for 20 hours. Yeah, that ain't the drug for me. I don't fit in. Meth puts me to sleep. What's wrong with me?
Yeah, some people it does, and some people don't. Meth psychosis is really bad for young ones too.
Well, it was over 20 years ago when I tried it.
Bad, that bad, I'll say.
Oh.
Just comes right up.
Oh, I almost got my phone working.
Just a second, I want to show you this guy.
Are you talking about the black guy, Christian?
No, Christian. This is Christian Schofield or something like that. He's from Monmouth, but he's now living in.
Yeah, there was a guy that was a friend of his named Christian. I've heard two rumors. One of them is that he was taken to the mental hospital in Salem. The other is he overdosed and died on the way to another hospital. So,
Well, Chris was in there for being too high or something. And he was going to fight Tommy, that guy that is with that girl named Sam. And the cops wouldn't let him. And
I don't know why he's going after Sam, but before Sam, it was that Amanda girl.
We were 4 years, him and Sam used to be together. And I said, but she's broken now. You don't need her. He goes, well, my wife's broken too. And I said, yeah, but still, mother of your children. Quit playing the game. And don't lose that job. Jesus Christ, everybody, he fell into that job. All of his,
A lot of people told me that that job saved his life. I don't know how much that's true, but I was told that the guy who gave him a job, that saved his life.
yes.
More than one person told me that.
Because he couldn't do the stupid things he was doing. And I mean, the guy told him straight up, I'll pay you this, I'll give you this in so many years. I'll do all these things for you, but you gotta not drink, no, heavy partying, no fighting, no getting thrown in jail. And I told him, I said, you better keep that job because you know as well as I do. See, he had a good friend that was just a year younger than him, and his name was Sean, and he was from Boston. When I first met him, I told Sean, you know what, that's not a good guy, don't hang around him. I said, he's a drunk guy. I said, you see that? He was going to throw a punch at me, and he's just a little bump. I mean, I could have hurt him, but I wouldn't. And later, I almost did once, but then I said, look at Sean's got a job. He's making 20-some bucks an hour. Chris, you ain't going nowhere. You go to jail, nothing happens.
Well, the other thing is, once he's got that job, you'd think he'd clean up and he's got kids. But the thing is, he's still fucking around with the guns.
Right.
Still fucking around with the same people.
He's a strong guy. He helped me load scrap there for a while. And I said, well, how would you like to do this the rest of your fucking life?
God, I love scrapping.
Oh, man, it's a chore. It's a job. But anyway.
I hate cutting everything down into 18-inch lengths, but you don't have to do that. You just get extra money if you do it. And if you do the math on it, you're probably going through more oxyacetylene than it's worth to cut it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never done that. I have no idea about metal or anything about how they cut it. I just spouted a bunch of ignorance, really.
I've been a scrapper since I was like 7 years old, probably. But wash machines and dryers and shit, throw them above my, loaded up high, and for a little bit of nothing. I mean, I said I'd like to do this for a living. I said I'm doing it right now because I can't work, and I got to do something to live. And this is the only thing I know that I get every day. But it's a hard job.
Well, you aren't the first person to tell me that people are saying I'm trouble and stay away from me. So at least it's something I'm used to. And a lot of people, they want to like come at me sideways. Like, if you heard a rumor, why don't you go to the source of the rumor and find out if it's true? I'm willing to show anybody my evidence. I'm willing to show anybody 15 bags full of evidence. I'm willing to show them any one of 3 computers that are full of evidence and 7 telephones that are full of evidence. Because like I said, this has been going on for 7 years. It ain't just here. In Hood River, they told me, well, maybe you should move elsewhere. The Dalles, they told me, maybe you should move elsewhere. Portland, they told me, maybe you should move elsewhere. Here, they tell me, maybe you should move elsewhere. Have you tried going to Portland? Have you tried going to Salem? Have you tried going to Eugene? I'm like, man.
Wow, Hood River. Yeah, you can pick apples there and pears, and it's expensive to live there, though.
Yep.
I mean,
It's a bunch of rich people.
Area, but, because it doesn't get as much rain as it does here.
The cops there are horrible, though.
Angel Williamson. Who in the hell's that? Oh, they're using my name. Somebody. Come on. We didn't find it. When I want to find it, I can't find it. But when I wasn't looking, bam, it was right there. Can't I just push it in and it comes out?
Well, I've been trying to find a ground floor storage since I got here. People have sent me to Bay City. They're full. They told me to call Garibaldi. They're full. Told me to call like 8 different places here in town. They're all full. And then people make that suggestion like, well, why don't you just get a storage unit? I have a storage unit. It's on the 2nd story. Hell, you're able to get up there and down better than I can, but the only reason I have breathing problems doing that is because of back cramps. That's from the impact of the stairs shooting right up my spine. Although I think I'll probably get in trouble if we stay here too long. I think we're cutting it off a bit.
What, here?
Yeah, not that they can't go around. It's pretty easy to do that.
They can just wait for a minute, but nobody's tried to pull in. Besides that, I'm being subordinate right now. I've always been subordinate, but I mean, I had 119 of them when I was in service, so subordination was always my.
Yeah, I went to the church.
Here he is. Tell me this doesn't look like him.
God, we're both gimpy, I guess.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to be. I don't know if you'll be able to see it like that. You might have to hold it. But that's him.
It does look kind of like...
He's got the same bump on his head, same side and everything.
He's prettier, though.
This guy here looks really kind. I mean, he's got this kind look to him, right?
Chris looks shifty.
Huh?
Chris looks shifty and angry.
Well,
Mostly shifty.
No, he looks like he's contemplating doing something wrong. You know, I mean, like he's trying to do something in his head. And I told him, you got to get rid of that part. And he goes, well, look at you. You look like a biker. And everybody knows bikers are shifty.
Well, with him, when he first started trying to get a gun illegally, I knew something fucking fucked up was going down. When he got that gun from Amanda, and her mom told me that her gun was stolen from Chris, and then Amanda told me her gun and her bullets were taken, and then Chris was telling me the story, but he didn't tell me he took her gun.
Well, Chris had 3 rifles that were really high dollar rifles, and he was trying to sell them on Facebook and something. I said, "You're a felon, dude. You know what you'll get in trouble for? You can't sell things like that and being out and known about it. You're a felon."
Shit, he offered to give me one.
Huh?
He's one of over a dozen people in this town who have offered to give me a gun. I'm like, I don't want a gun. That'd get me shot.
Yeah, it can get you shot, but it can also save your life.
Well, for him, he should be a little smarter about just trying to give guns up to people, you know?
Right. Well, that girl scared the living shit out of him, the one that made him drive around.
I almost believed him. I almost believed him until he ran around saying that she had chlamydia and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, well, that's not something that people do if somebody pulls a gun on them. That's something people do when they're rejected. And also, he was keeping on telling me how he was going to marry her, and she was the girl that he was going to marry, and he's going to marry her. I'm like, dude, she's got a boyfriend. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, that Sam had a boyfriend too, and that's when he went to jail over it. When he went to get in a fight right there in the parking lot outside the laundromat, and I said, "There goes your job."
Is that why he disappeared for like 3 weeks?
Huh? No, he went to clean up because he started doing dope and drinking, and he went bad. And I told him, "You lose that fucking job, dude, you will be a nothing the rest of your life. You will have nothing. This guy has handed you the, I mean, I wish once in my fucking life somebody would have been like that guy."
Well, the issue with the guns and with him changing his story repeatedly and a lot of the other situations that happen with him, like, I like him. He's nice. He's really nice. And he offers to do stuff sometimes that he usually doesn't come through with. But a lot of times what it comes down to is he wants somebody to tell his stories to.
Well, and see, I'm not one that goes one up on him. He can tell me all kinds of bad stories, like how he beat people up and stuff, and I leave it be, right?
But he does nonstop. He talks about beating people up.
When he lived up the trash, I saw him take care of his boys, and he really takes care of them boys, and I give him credit for that because most people don't.
But he's gonna lose them boys if he keeps getting violent, keeps getting fucking illegal firearms,
right.
Keeps threatening to fucking do shit to people.
He's living there with her in that park with the restraining order, and I said, "You know what you're doing? You're telling the judge to fuck himself."
Yeah.
And when you break the restraining order, you're telling the judge to fuck himself.
Well, he brings me his phone one night and he tells me my ex is threatening to kill herself and take the kids with her. What should I do? I'm like, you keep telling me you won't call the cops no matter what. This is a situation where you call the cops before she drowns your fucking kids.
Or does something stupid and runs them off into the ocean with them. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, don't put it past them. Some people say if they threaten to do it, they'll never do it. But I have seen where they threatened to do it, and they did it.
Myself as well. And, you know, I knew a lady who the only reason, by the grace of God, that she's not in prison is because her fucking husband whacked her over the back of the head when she was trying to drown her kids. Now, he didn't have much choice. She's twice his size. He couldn't take her.
Look at that lady that was down there on the beach and had her kids in that van and drove it out into the surf and got out of it. She walked away from it, and the kids were in the van. It was going to go out in the ocean, you know. I mean, other people saw it and stopped it. But so don't say it can't happen. What was that, Diane Downs? That's what she went to prison for, was killing her kids.
Yeah, women are 5 times more likely to beat their kids. They're just as likely to kill their kids violently, but they're 5 times more likely to kill their kids non-violently. 59% of all parents who kill their kids are women.
Right. Well, me and Louise put our kids in a barrel. And at 18, we opened up the barrel and they weren't alive anymore. So, you know. I think at 18, they should have a suitcase and a $20 bill and go away. But no, they never go away. If you have kids, they never go away.
A $20 bill could have worked in 1970.
Yeah, my kid was 41 years old before he hit that mark where he went to work and didn't depend on dad and everybody else.
The average American has to live with their parents until they're 29 now. Most people don't realize that.
Well, and
These youngins ain't getting paid even close to a living wage. The last time Americans could live on one person, taking care of a household on one person's income, was 1958.
when I was growing up, I pumped gas for 13 cents a gallon. Cigarettes were 25 cents a pack. A loaf of bread was 10 cents. Lollipops were 3 for a nickel.
Yo.
You know, I mean,
I remember getting packs of cigarettes from my mom for 25 cents.
yeah.
Longmont, Colorado, 1980s.
Go in this bowling alley down here and buy a pack of cigarettes out of that machine. It'll take a 10 and a pipe. $15 to get a pack of cigarettes out of a machine. And the only reason it's open is they gamble in there. They got 12 machines. I went in there with a guy one day and went, oh, there's no bowling in here? This is fucked up.
Well, one of the things with people telling you to stay away from me, I'm trouble. I am trouble. I have a big mouth, and I admit it. You don't get to molest kids. You don't get to rape people, and you don't get to take advantage of the elderly or the disabled. Those are all things that are absolutely no's in my book. Those are heinous crimes. This isn't like you found somebody your size and decided that you were going to brawl one-on-one with somebody who's a consenting adult who wants to brawl. This is you taking it, not you, obviously, but this is these people taking advantage of people who can't defend themselves, myself included.
I've always been one that stood up for that, but I found out that I'm the third wheel and will go to jail first.
Yes.
So if I step in and I always say, hey, you want me to step in and help you or you want me to leave it alone? I don't dial 911 though. I have a hard time dialing 911.
Well, Chris saw more than one situation down there where I was assaulted, where I was threatened, things like that. And I told him, hey, I need someone to call the cops with me. He said, well, I don't call the cops. Cops are bad. Cops are bad. And then once he called the cops the first time on his ex, because she was threatening to kill herself and take the kids with her, after that, he went like on rampage calling the cops. He'd make sure that he went to work, so he's in a professional environment. This is right after I explained it to him. Hey, you have a job. This is a business. This is where money flows through. This is the stuff cops give a shit about. So if you speak up from your position there, it makes a difference. So then, whenever he had a problem with rejection or a problem with somebody who didn't do what he wanted, he'd call the cops and say he wants him trespassed. I'm like, well, that's fucked up.
Well, the night he got in a fight with Tommy outside of the laundromat there, he called the cops before he went outside because Tommy was trying to break in and get Sam, right? And he walked out there telling him, you're not taking Sam, you know, and all that. Well, Sam came out and went with him. As the cops showed up, then they arrested Chris because he was the threatening one.
Well, he is too, though.
And the sad story is he don't see that part. And I said, you know, as well as I do, it was many years ago when he was with Sam. I didn't know this until that all happened. And I said, but she's broken right now and she doesn't want to be fixed. And you can't afford her. You could not afford what she does. I mean, unless you want to get rid of your kids and everything you got. I mean, and I thought he was doing pretty good taking care of them kids, but I don't know.
Well, that thing with Amanda, you know, maybe she did that.
She's pregnant again. I mean, with a fourth one.
Well, maybe Amanda did what he said that she did, but I've been through it enough to know that when a guy is rejected, you know, he might tell any manner of stories that you might believe. But the moment he starts saying that she's got diseases, it's a rejection issue. Well, I don't go running around claiming that any of the women who did harmful shit to me, I don't go running around claiming that they got chlamydia or anything like that. The reason for that is because it's wrong.
Right.
I wouldn't know if any of these people have chlamydia. If I was to say that these people have chlamydia, well, I didn't have sex with any of them. So, I mean, you know, obviously, if I didn't have sex with them, I wouldn't know if they got chlamydia because I don't have chlamydia.
Yeah, I tried to get Louise here some STDs one time on the phone. and they kept saying, we don't do it like that. They don't get it that. And I said, where do I buy them from? Buy STDs? And I said, yeah, I got to get her some STDs. I've never done it before. And the kids in Jefferson go, you know what you're saying? Oh, it's FTD. Damn it, the flower company, FTD, not STD. And then we had a cop come to the door on a welfare check. I said, I don't have any welfare checks. I've never been on welfare, you know, and closed the door. She's laughing at me. And I said, what? Well, now they got 2 cops at the door. And when they said, no, hold on for a minute, and let me explain what you mean, what you mean by welfare check. I said, I told you, me and welfare had never been together before, so I don't have nothing to do with welfare. And I closed the door again. When the third one showed up with them, I said, oh, this is what it is. Do they want out?
Looks like they're
That's going to the
pausing.
same place as the other one just went.
Yeah, it looks like they got stuff stacked on top that's
Yeah,
barely.
those
Oh,
are
it's the
about
lady
ready to
with the
go.
painted face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
Well, that's the thing is that I don't hate Chris, but I'm scared shitless of the guy. He is twice my size, and he does, now that he understands he's got that power and he's been using that power, I'm afraid of him using that on me if he doesn't get what he wants. So I just make sure I'm not around for him to want anything. Most of the time, he just wants someone to listen to his tough guy stories, you know?
Right.
But that's something with the violence I grew up with and the number of corpses in my past. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't care how tough he is. Tough to me doesn't mean you're able to beat somebody's ass. It means you're able to take an ass whooping. But when somebody's whooping your ass, you don't have much choice. Or you're really tough, or you're just taking it because you got to.
Well, I couldn't fight 15 rounds anymore like I used to because I can't breathe. So I got to do it in the first round, and I try to stay away from it. I don't want to do it at all because I might just do something too hard and kill somebody, and then I don't. And I promised Louise I would never go to jail or prison as long as I was with her. And I told her, you know what? I've had to eat a lot of shit sandwiches because of that. I've got to learn to keep my mouth shut. You know, that house is empty too.
Well, the only thing that's my saving grace is my big mouth and the fact that I record. But then a lot of people want to use that as an excuse to harm me. Like, you know, people assault me and threaten my life. I pull out my camera, I start recording. And then I get told, well, you shouldn't have recorded it. Well, if I don't record it, they say, well, we need evidence. You got any recordings?
Well, you got to let
Damn
Chris
if you
sit in
do.
your car one night while they, you know, no.
I don't want that.
No, because you'd be setting him up for a bad fall.
I believe
I
in.
couldn't do it because I would get mad at the kids and take them home to their parents, and parents would say, hey, you know what? I already did all I can do with them. That's just that.
All the dents you see around my vehicle were all made by other people. As soon as Natalie was killed, it resulted in people that just have hate. And since it was all over the news and it's still popular, like she was killed in December of 2017, A&E just made a thing about her on the 29th, and somebody got a hold of me today to let me know that there's also a thing about her on Lifetime. They got a hold of me and said, I saw you on Lifetime. I saw you on A&E. I'm like, yeah, you want to see the truth, or you just want to believe what you're told?
Right. I've had the cops watching me bury my dogs and all kinds of things, thinking I was burying humans. And I tell them, they thought I killed her and buried her in the front yard. I said, in the front yard? Why do you think I would bury her in the front yard?
Oh my God, give me a second. I have to get on my YouTube channel and tell them that I just met a certified zombie.
Hey, that used to be my name out there on the streets, was Zombie. Rob Zombie, he was my buddy. You know, the one that made the true movies about the Devil's Rejects.
I had people tell me when I was younger and I had hair and teeth. I'd shave my head bald, though, because it wasn't very much. And people said, you know, you look like Captain Spaulding.
Yes, you know what? You put some weight on you. That's who I was looking for when I came down here. I'll show you a picture of him someday. His name was Rick Buchanan, but he looked like Captain Spaulding, right? The clown. He even had a tattoo of it on his arm. But yeah, like actually, they're Dan Ackerman. If you saw Dan Ackerman, you and him would pass for twins.
People said the same about some heroin addict here named Steve, who hasn't been here in years. I'll let you go first.
I was just watching him watch us.
He said he was just watching them watch us. That's because the cops drove by super slow. Oh shit, that's not gonna work. Take me to Tillamook Sporting Goods. That didn't work. Oh, no data connection. Alright. Well, on the right side, there's traffic here. It's going at an acceptable speed. I'll just follow them at that acceptable speed. As long as it's not 7 o'clock yet, I can go to Starbucks and get a coffee. Hopefully it's Krista or what are those other two ladies' names? The two young ladies that work at the end of the day are both super sweet, but they always have to work there alone. On the bright side, it's in a store like the Starbucks inside of the Safeway. So I'm not too worried about anybody messing with them. And of course, if somebody does mess with them, there's a lot of people there. Alright, my car is having issues. And it's pulling real heavy right. Yep. That's Gary. Like I said, he's a real nice guy. He's got some opinions I don't agree with, some beliefs that I don't agree with, but I got beliefs and opinions he don't agree with. And you notice we don't beat the shit out of each other. We're not yelling and screaming over offensive shit, because really, I got a pretty thick skin. Alright, I'll just cross the road. People tell me, well, if I was going through all that, I'd move. That's what they told me in the last town. And the one before that, the one before that. How dare I record people doing fucked up shit to me? Right? Y'all got no idea how much disdain I have for the United States of America. Primarily its government and its people. And although I'm not willing to kill people, I am wholeheartedly willing to destroy infrastructure. You hear my car trying to backfire? Sounds like a fucking tractor. Yep, I can go in, get myself coffee, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm also gonna go say hello to Jake from State Farm, although his name is not Jake, he's not from State Farm. Alright, let's see what we're at as far as battery goes. Ooh, 15%. That ain't shit. On the bright side, it's still better than nothing. See how warm my phone is. Alright, it's not too hot. That's a good thing. Alright. And I got some naked organic bread, hearty honey oat. Rub. Alright. And he's got breathing problems. He also likes talking a lot, as you could probably tell. Not sure if you noticed, but I like to talk a lot. Craig likes talking a lot too. Thank goodness I had help. And you know what? Two of those guys that were there already also helped. If it hadn't been for them, we'd probably still be there. I'm not in the best shape. And Gary's not in the best shape. So hell yes, I'm thankful for any help I could get. Let's see what we're at. 16% battery. Oh. Yeah, pretty much everybody in town knows how crooked the cops are. And the more broke they are, the more obvious it is. Damn, that cord got hot. When predators see that there are consequences, they think twice. When they see that there are no consequences, they'll do it twice. When you see your neighbor taking advantage of an at-risk adult, what do you do if you're a good person? You turn it in. What do you do if you're an American? You wait for that person to get done taking advantage of them so that you can get your turn. Yeah. You notice I bitch about women who ain't thinking right and men who ain't thinking right. People who think that victimizing innocent people is okay. And yes, I speak up about it. I know lots of racists with many different colors. Believe it or not, I'm friends with white people who are racist. Friends with black people who are racist. Well, I was once, before Natalie was killed. Of course, once it was popular on the news, these people just wanted to dip out. What a bunch of fucking punk-ass little bitches. Not that it matters. There was nobody there to protect me from these people. And then I get told that it's my choice. Because these are the only people who actually pretended to give a shit. Whereas the rest of y'all, where the fuck were you? Where were my friends? Well, I'll tell you where my friends were. October 18th, 2015, all of my friends threw me away because I hurt my back. Yeah, that's where my friends went. I had one real friend since then. Her name was Natalie. Everybody else, they were BS before and after. I saw you earlier, but I thought you were eating shit.
So the rest of the week and next week.
Before then.
I'm sorry, what was that, Miriam?
I wanted to go to the church feed. That guy that assaults me was there, so I just went somewhere else. I'm almost too lazy for coffee, but then again, I walk and I'm in pain, so I'm too lazy to walk out.
She'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes.
I figured. I know it's not 7, and I know they have to break, and I know that one of you guys has to be stationed here every time they do. So when I saw you, I was like, nope, it's only one break. I got time. Oh my God, I need one of those.
I'm not a balloon, but I can. She'll be down here in a little bit. It's actually. It'll be like 3 more minutes.
Oh, is that it?
It's longer. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. No, you're fine, hon. You're
Thank
fine.
you, I work out.
Have people waiting.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, sir. You're here.
All right, Miss Jade, I am. At least it's cheap. Thank you. Be a douchebag. Pretend I was some sort of a horrible person. I saw him at the church where they feed on Thursdays, and of course, like an intelligent person, I left. Now let's talk about one of the people who's missing right now. This guy's name is Tommy White. Missing, Tommy White. 5'6"-ish, 21, blue eyes, light brown / dark blonde, short hair. 7/15/2002, missing from Garibaldi, Oregon. 10/14/23. Tillamook County Sheriff, case number 23-15124. Cheryl Garriga, 503-300-8033, or call 911. Local missing. Yep, 21 years old. So, yeah, it's obviously a real event. He's obviously a real person. It's obviously a real phone number. I did message it this morning. No reply. This is definitely not a small town. In a small town, everybody knows everybody's name. In this town, when people go missing, most of these folks don't know the folks who are missing. Yes, ma'am. Do what? I don't. No, I don't. I just smoke cigarettes.
You have a cigarette?
I do. I do not. I thought I had one on me. I don't, though. I'm sorry about that. Yes, ma'am. Do I have that face that really says I probably have drugs that people can ask me for? Like that young lady calling me over. I was like, what's going on here? Why is that young lady calling me over? Blues or clears? Yeah, two things I don't touch.
Well, typically, if somebody wants it, they'll bring it to ask whoever.
Yeah, that's true. Plus, it's legal here, so it's not like they're gonna get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
But it freaks me out, you know? I mean, not like she's gonna hurt me or anything creepy like that, but just it's weird that people come up and approach me and ask that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you think people are smarter about who? I mean, because seriously, somebody can give you some fucking shit. I've had that happen before once.
See, that's what I should do.
Smoked with a friend, didn't even know it. He's like, oh yeah, this is laced with mushrooms. I'm like, what?
Oh god.
And I had to go back to class. So I'm sitting there tripping balls. Fucking. Because I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna get stoned. Take like a few hits. Like, oh yeah, I just had mushrooms. And I'm like, no wonder I'm getting so fucking high. Like, typically it takes me like an 8. But I'm sitting there like,
Yeah, I'm a lightweight. I bought $5 worth of weed at the beginning of the month, and half of it's still in my car. It's only $5 worth of weed. How long does $5 worth of weed last any pothead other than me?
well, yeah, I don't really smoke anymore, so I'd say like a puff or two. I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah, that's where I get. I'm like pleasantly blissed after like one rip. But then I might take 2 of them because it doesn't kick in like immediately. I might take 2 rips in a 2-minute period. But I'm gone after that. I'll be safe. Yeah, that lady wasn't very loud about it, and she was definitely for certain what she wanted, either some blues or some clear. I don't mess with any of that, so she's on her own. How many people in this town do we have recorded coming up to me and asking me for drugs? And they always get the same answer. No, I don't do drugs. No, I don't have any. No, I don't know where you can get any. I know people who use, but that doesn't mean that I know they have some. Chances are pretty good that if they did have it, they used it as soon as they got it. Also, there's no animosity for it. I don't hate her for coming up and asking for drugs. She's very young, though. She looked about 16, if it wasn't for the fact that she's got tattoos on the back of her thigh. How do I know she's got tattoos on the back of her thigh? Because they go all the way down the back of her thigh, and she was wearing shorts. And she was facing away from me with her head turned towards me while she was talking to me. Hey, psst. Well, this is weird. No, I don't have any clear. I don't have any blues. I don't have any whites. I have no powders. I have no liquids. I just don't fuck with none of it. God damn it. There's got to be a way to get in my car with a coffee cup while holding my phone. Y'all tell people to let shit go that they're not allowed to let go of. There's no possible way for me to get out of the fucking bullshit that I have to endure for the rest of my life because I didn't have any real friends. I had people who took advantage of me when I could help them. And then when I couldn't, well, they just took advantage of me financially. When I no longer had a back capable of bending over backwards and jumping through hoops, where did they go? They became just pretty words on Facebook. Mostly shitty words, though. One of the people who's still on my Facebook that I've told to leave, her name's Carissa Ibsen. Back when Natalie first disappeared, she was going to help me and pretended to give a shit. Then she started getting on my on my Facebook, to berate me and bitch at me and tell me how to think and how to feel publicly. She didn't bother talking to me like a human being, which is the way that I always attempted, now isn't it? You can't bother to listen to another human being because they're not a human to you. That's what it comes down to. I'm going to end this video, and hopefully I don't have to encounter any more child molesters like Andrew Wolnez.